Let me get the card.
Go ahead.
Give me one of the card. That's my check right there, y'all. That check, that $1 million check, I left that right there on the table, right in my room. So as soon as they walked in, they said, "That's your check?" And started.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Club Shay Shay. I am your host, Shannon Sharpe. I'm also the proprietor of Club Shay Shay. Stopping by for conversation and a drink today is an NFL icon. He's a Cowboys legend, one of the greatest receivers of all time. He's tied for the most 100-yard receiving games in a season. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champ, 3-time All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler, Pro Football Hall of Fame. He once led the NFL in receiving yards in a single season. He's an all-decade member of the 1990s. He played his entire career with one team, America's team, a national champion with the Canes. He was on the Florida's All-Century team, University of Miami Sports Hall of Famer, Texas Sports Hall of Famer. He was inducted into the Cowboys Ring of Honor, fearless competitor, clutch performer, and a vocal leader, sports analyst, broadcaster, seasoned commentator. He's a father, a husband, a brother, a son, and a great, great friend. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the playmaker.
That's a hell of an intro. Oh my God,
Did I do you right? Did I do you right?
You don't even, boy, golly.
That's all you. That's all you,
I
right?
always wanted to hear intro like that, man, but that really means you getting old. That's what that really means. You start getting all them lineups like that.
Well, guess what? You get to hear it.
You get to hear
Because you know normally when they give you one like that, you don't know nothing about it.
When they give you that one set of flowers. Here's what you need to hear. Here's what's on top of your grave at the same time. And you gone. So you right, I get to hear it while I'm in time and I'm not in.
Man, you know, I got my own cognac. I don't know if you partake, but it's early today. It's about 6 o'clock.
Man, it's good time. It's good time.
This is my cognac.
Time. You know what I mean? Hey, and we don't put in the work, Shannon.
Yeah.
We can stop early if we want and do a cognac. We can do that right now. Shannon. That's rich, Shannon. That's like, that ain't nothing made on the hood or nothing. That real stuff. That's
that's the real stuff. Mike, you know, come on now.
That's that real stuff, that boy.
Mike, we go back 30.
That's that real stuff, Shannon. That's all right, man.
Yeah.
How's that doing? How's the business doing?
Doing really well. We're doing really well. We coming to Dallas.
Man, that's great, man. That is great right there, buddy.
I appreciate that.
That's great.
Man, how you been, Mike?
I'm doing great, Shannon. I am absolutely doing fabulous. I really am, man.
I mean, you know, I saw you at the hall, about almost a month ago, about 3 weeks ago, we was at the hall, and you know how we do. We get together in our little group, and me and you, we back in the back of the bus, we laughing and talking. I had to do a little bit more serious this year because I was with my brother. I had to be a little bit more serious, but normally you and I.
Right, and we always cutting up. And I told you, man, I had so much fun. And I'm not going to lie, man, this year, because I've been through things, you know what I mean? And you know, I reach out, I tell you I love you and stuff like that when you're going through it. And I was watching it. Because look how we see the hall, right? I'm still getting more. That's our brotherhood.
Yes.
And I know you felt everybody was trying to get around.
Right.
Yeah, man, you're right. They in here, we ain't thinking about that.
Correct.
In here is us. And just to see that whole night, that whole week, you know, we laughing, messing with each other everywhere, messing around. And then to see Shannon, to see you up there with your brother, because I know what it means, your brother. And I don't know if people know the relationship I have with Sterling. It was me, him, Tim coming in together, always talking, competing together. You know, I knew I got to worry about that joker. Let me tell you how they got me. I promise you, when I was here, before I came in, Gil Brandt came to Miami, and I was playing basketball. I set a workout at a certain time. I did my workout for all the scouts. Now I'm shooting basketball. Gil Brandt comes late on purpose. And he said, I wanted to see what kind of competitor you are. He came in, we comes in the gym, and they said, Gil Brandt's from the Cowboys. I said, my workout's done.
You done with it?
I said, I already did the workout. The joker came, and Gil, he said, oh, he just wanted to talk to you then. He came and talked to me. He said, yeah, Everything's going good. He said, but we're going to take a receiver. I understand we missed the workout. I can get it on tape. But I just left Sterling, and boy, did he look good. I said, let's go work out. I said, let's go work out, Mom. Let's go get the workout in.
That's how they talk.
That's a true story. That's how they told me. I said, let's go get the workout in. I went out and put that workout in. Boy, that's how we battle,
Right.
man. That's what brings you that close, man. So, that was funny, man. But I love seeing it, and they saw you back on that top, right up there, brother. I'm telling you, appreciate that. That did my heart so well.
Appreciate
that. Of course, I was laughing with you the whole week, so serious too. But
and put the serious face on in front of the camera.
We have fun.
This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Y'all already know I'm pumped for this upcoming season of football. Nothing like September football when you still got so much hope in your team. My guy Dak Prescott is about to be out here cooking. Eagles D? Nah, this conference is all about letting the offense shine. And right now, there's a max discount offer where projection lines are at a minimum. Prize Picks is simple and easy to use. All you need to do is pick more on Dak 0.5 yards, more Dak to CD all day, baby. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. Prize Picks is also the best way to get on the action of sports in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. Prize Picks puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Prize Picks offer Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. Prize Picks also offer injury reboots. If your player leaves the game in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks won't count it as a loss. Okay, Prize Picks, I see you for the people. Prize Picks is the best way to win cash this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cash all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join millions of users and sign up today. Download the app today. Use code Shannon to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 in lineups. That's code Shannon to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. When I go back and I look at you, you are an outstanding basketball player. Was basketball your first love, or was football always your first love?
Basketball was my first love. Basketball was my first love. But be straight with you and honest with you. I played with some top guys and played well with guys. Football just had a different confidence on the court. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, and I'm not a 1 or a 2, I'm a rough guy, so I can rough these jokers in high school and maybe even college.
Right.
But at 6'2" or 6'3", you ain't gonna be roughing them jokers at another level. You know what I mean? And so I used to be out there. Mitch Richmond, who's my best friend growing up.
Right.
Mitch Richmond and I, that's who I played with all. We used to play high school and go around beating everybody all the time. Mitch he's a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
So Mitch and I, we grew up together. About 2 weeks before we got drafted, we were all in Miami. Mitch is about to be a top 5 pick, top 10 pick. I'm about to be a top 10, 11 pick in the draft. And we're eating at Denny's somewhere right across the street from the University of Miami. And I don't know, somehow nobody have any money. Nobody has any money.
Damn.
Man, we done ate all this damn food. They called the police. And we were like, oh my God, man, what do you mean? How you mean you ain't got no money? Police come, man, they ready to take us to jail because we ain't got no money. And we like, listen, we're getting drafted in a couple of weeks, man.
We'll come back and pay.
The cops took care. They paid it and let us make it. They paid it. They said, boy, y'all got, how y'all, I swear, I don't know how we messed this up. But Mitch and I was so tight, man. And I always thought if Mitch made it, I could have made it.
Yes.
But Mitch was a shooting guard. And
Right.
Mitch could shoot that thing. And I could shoot, but I couldn't handle the ball like that. So football for me was my way.
I've always said, my brother tells the story, like when you come from rural South Georgia, there's really no one to look to. That if you want to be, let's just say, a doctor, we didn't know any doctors. If you want to be a lawyer, we really didn't know any lawyers. But if you want to be a professional athlete, who would we go? It's not like it is now, where guys are accessible. You have the internet, or you can go to a game and you can meet these guys somewhere. There was no one like that for you and I. To look up to and say, you know what, that's what I want to be like, except on television. But we didn't have access where we could physically touch or talk to that individual.
Our game came from, I don't want to be him.
Yes.
Not, I want to be like him. It's like, I'm not going to be him. That's how we fought. And honestly, because of where we come from, you know, and it's so funny you bring this up, because of where we come from, you sit and be like, man, you know, darn. And he tells somebody, I'm gonna make it to the league. Boy, who you know made it to the league?
That's exactly
what they always say that. Like, why I gotta know somebody to want to go do something? Like, that's the first thing they say.
Because you know what, Mike? When we was growing up, if you got a job, somebody helped you get that job.
Right.
If you got a job at the Porcher, you had to know somebody that worked at the Porcher or the fruitcake park or whatever. You knew somebody. Now who you know? And that's the way you gonna get it.
That's exactly how they are. Who you know to play? So boy,
I don't know nobody.
Right. But I'm going. And you better have a backup plan. Yeah, I'm gonna have a backup plan. Y'all gonna back up when I get my money. That's what y'all gonna do. Back up when I get my money. They ain't gonna back up though. They never will back up. But you know what I mean.
Right.
But it's it. And that I started studying that too. That's funny you bring it up because I was studying for my kids. My kid was into music. Mm-hmm. And he would be beating on things, you know, all the time around the house. And he's rapping out under Tarantino. Yep. And I started studying it because, like you said, no. Saying no to him, you shouldn't say no. Like they say that he may be walking out his talent or working out his talent. Mm-hmm. So I have to say to him, Elijah, everybody's not ready to hear it at this time.
Right.
But I don't want to say no.
Right.
And they surmise that African Americans hear the word no so many more times than any other group. Like even if you say, Mom, I think I'm gonna quit my manager job and go back to school. Boy, you better not do that, boy.
You quit that good job.
Boy, you got a good job, boy. Quit that good job, but I'm going back to school. I'm gonna get better. You know, any other culture, that's a great idea. We'll help you. Yeah. You get rid of that apartment, move back in the house while you're doing it. So you can say, you know what I mean? So I wanted to get out of that. No. And really learn. But I tell my people, look, when you have a great calling, something deep down inside of you, the next thing you'll have to show is courage. Because once you share that calling, everybody else gonna say, boy, who you know what I'm saying? So you gotta have
talk
courage.
You out of it.
Right, and sometimes out of love. It's not even negative.
Right.
They love you.
Right.
And they're doing it out of love, but they didn't feel the call. Mm-hmm. So you just gotta go with that call and have the courage to overstep what they're saying, but understand.
You remember that 1992, I think it was Foot Locker that put on the slam dunk contest. I think it was you, Griffey, Bonds,
y'all saw that.
Time.
Golly, Time. All of us, boy. That was a great. I don't know why they stopped doing that.
They stopped doing like the NFL fastest man.
The way you can bring back the NBA dunk contest is make it NFL players. Boy, I guarantee you. You let NFL players, like you let a Myles Garrett get in that thing. And dude, I'm gonna tell you something. That made me retire. When I started seeing this kind of athleticism, we were playing a basketball game against Washington. They had just drafted LeVar Arrington. Boy, right at Reunion Arena, I'm shooting back. We been winning. LeVar gets that ball. And from the free throw line, I was like, damn, this is 250, 60 pounds flat. I said, boy, it's time for you to retire.
But Mike, they don't remember. They used to, the teams used to put together basketball teams in the offseason, and they would travel around. The Broncos would play the Raiders. The Raiders would play the Cowboys. The Cowboys would play.
I ran the hoops.
Yeah. It's about 8 or 9, and you know, they would see who had the best team.
Boy, and we played, we mess around, we play around. And then we go mess around, playing around again after the game. You see what I'm saying? We mess around in the game, and then we play around, get serious at the end trying to win.
Exactly.
And then after the game,
it's a both one time.
And when we had, I don't know, we talked about this a lot about this in the documentary. I don't know if we even brought it up. But we would, oh my God, man, around here, and we were winning Super Bowls, so we're going to the McAllen, the Brownville, and all of them, and boy, they were, hey, boy. I ran it so I would get the whole floor.
Right.
I made them rent out the whole floor. I didn't want anybody on our floor because that may be, we just need to keep it in the family. You know what I'm saying? So they gave me the whole floor. And we had some great times. We would win games because we played the fire department, police department.
That's exactly
right. It's all charity.
Yeah.
And you sit around, sign, and then you go to the spot. It's your spot, man. Those were great times. They don't do that stuff now. They don't do that stuff. But back then, it was, football teams were more, you know,
family.
We did all that. We did all that.
We went bowling, and I tell people this all the time. I say, I don't know how close teams are because I've been retired for 2 decades. You've been retired 2+ decades. But we went bowling. We went to movies. We did things together. We went fishing. We did things together. I mean, we rolling dice. We going over each other's house rolling dice. We rolling dice. We might not get home. Practice might end at 3 o'clock. We got meetings. Guys wasn't getting home till 7 o'clock.
Right.
Man, I remember Steve Atwater told the story, said, man, y'all can get me divorced. I'm up here rolling dice with you guys. I'm supposed to bet on. I got a wife and kids.
Right. But you know what? You know the importance of it. And I try to tell people this. That's why here in Dallas, they were not going to the hotel the nights before games. I said, well, what are we doing here? You know, and you win championships by making a commitment man to man.
Right.
One man to the other. That's what I was sharing with Miami. I will get my job done. Now, the coach's job is to create moments so you can make them damn commitments to each other.
Yes.
And the team, that's what we're doing. We're creating moments so we can make that commitment. We'll be in week 3, and I'm eating dinner with Eric Williams. And we're eating after we're all together. I'm like, hey, big fella, week 8, you got Reggie White coming in here. I got him. I'm just letting you know. Reggie White coming in here. Then week 4, we're doing it again. Big fella, that was a good win. But week 8, we got Reggie White coming. Just leave me alone about Reggie White. I said, okay, he's going to be ready. He's going to be ready. I'll bring it up. It's just ways you're trying to, you get that commitment made, one man to another, and get the job done.
Who do you think, what state produces the best athletes? Georgia, Florida, Texas? California.
I love this battle because, here close.
Look, it ain't about a handful of states that say this. It's Texas, Georgia, California, and Florida. That's only, look, Louisiana, Ohio, I'm sorry. But it's really a 14.
They want to jump in now, but it is a 4-horse race. I'm with you on that. And y'all know where I'm planting my flag. Now, they got some athletes here. Yeah. They got some athletes here, man. But it's usually the greater the pain, the greater the gain.
Yes.
And when we got great athletes in all of those places, but out of all of those places, the greatest pain is coming from Florida. And I said those boys in Florida got the greatest gain. But yeah, man. We used to joke about that around here, man. Like, think about it. When we were rolling, it's like, hey, we had the top 3 dudes from Florida. Yeah. Deion, Emmett, and me.
Yes.
Florida State, and Miami. So we were like, we used to be arguing with the dudes from Texas. Joker, y'all wouldn't be winning this if we wasn't here. So shut up. Just shut up right now.
And enjoy. Enjoy this ride.
Just enjoy. We used to do that all the time around here.
All right, I'm gonna ask you this. Give me your Mount Rushmore of Florida players.
Man, that's
Yeah. Somebody gonna get left off. I'm gonna throw some names out. You got Time.
Deion won.
You got Ray Lewis. You got Sapp.
Deion's one.
Emmett.
Deion's one.
Lamar Jackson. D. Henry. Brian Jalkin. Ocho Cinco. Antonio Brown. Yourself. Frank Gore.
Dude. And some that even got cut short. If Jerome Brown didn't career get cut short, life got cut short, he would be right. It'd be Deion, Jerome Brown. You know what I'm saying?
People don't really how good Jay Boogie was, man.
What? Man, Axe was my receiver coach. He was the one that recruited Jerome Brown, he would always tell us stories. He said, man, listen, I went to recruit Jerome Brown. His dad was over there in Brookville up under the car, working on the car. He came on out, shook my hand, and he said, then the car fell off the rock. And he said he was waiting on him to put a jack back under there and start jacking it up. He opened the door and said, what? Called the wife's name and said, tell JB to get on down here. And JB came on down, what's up, man? What's up there? The car fell. He said, JB, lift the car up, they put the bricks back on. Coach said, please sign this scholarship. Please sign this scholarship. Please sign this scholarship.
I done saw enough.
We ain't got to see no more. He said, sign this scholarship. JB was the bad boy. But I would have to go Deion. And dude, Ray Lewis, I would have to put Ray in there. Dude, I don't see myself physically gifted enough to even throw myself on a Mount Rushmore out of Florida. You know what I mean? Not physically gifted. Now, I'll put my ironware, I'll put my hardware up against anybody.
What about the U?
But
what if we put the U players Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, and that too, you know, because we always arguing about this. We always arguing about this now. We always arguing. Now, Mean, Ray, Ed Reed, Warren Sapp, and all the people that ain't them always want to throw in Sean Taylor and all. I say, y'all stop. Y'all stop. Because all of them boys are bad, and they deserve their rights. But I'm the only one on offense. You can stop that mess right now. Hey, if it was a quarterback, you had a shot at getting ahead of me. But it ain't no quarterback in here. So it is I. You can stop that right now. It is I. Yeah, we had that debate all the time, man.
What made you wear 47?
Man, Coach, they give those numbers at Miami. Remember? Eddie Brown wore number 40.
Yeah.
Stanley Shakespeare wore 6. My boy Brett wore 33. I didn't want 47. I went to Jimmy on this, man. I had a long talk. Jimmy, I said, Coach, man, listen, can I just change to 7? As wide receiver number 7, I'm going to give you some touchdowns, 7 points. When he's 7, he said, Michael, I was just a freshman. He said, Michael, you know what I see when I see you? With that 47 on in practice and you be catching them balls, you look like a big 747, catching that thing about to land in the end zone with a perfect landing. I was like, yeah?
Is that what you said?
Right. I swear. I was like, yeah? For all of a sudden, that 47 looked crisp again. Hey, I'm trying to get a job.
Yeah.
If the head coach see me like the 747, I said, yeah. I was like, okay. Man, a few years later, we get here, and we were having a drink after we did something. I was with Coach. He said, Micah, I can't believe you bought that story. I said, what story, Coach? That 47 story. I say, you dirty dog, you.
And plus, y'all was in the down stand. You remember, Mike, y'all was in the down stand.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't stand up wide and split out. Y'all was in the down stands.
I was just back at Miami the other day, and we were talking about that. Dude, Mike Rumpnum coming up to me, because we always argue about who's the best, the 101 team, or the 87
or the 91
championship team, the 91 championship team, all the championship teams. And he was like, boy, you couldn't have got me in no 3-point stay. I said, dog, it's impossible to jam a receiver coming up out that 3-point stand. It's impossible. It's impossible. So yeah, I don't know why receivers do it today. I don't know why they stand up. So like, dude, it's if they had, well, there's just no way. You would have to get down. You got to get down and get back. Because the quarterbacks, think about the quarterbacks. I had to go through Deion Sanders, Darryl Green, Rod Woodson, Champ Bailey, Aeneas Williams, and now the other guy just got in, Eric Allen.
Yeah.
All of those guys went everywhere I went on the football field, and when they tucked me in at night and handed me the toilet paper when I was done and needed to wipe.
Right.
They went everywhere with you. So I always say I went through gold jackets to get to my gold rings. And it was a different time back then. The cornerbacks was real.
Why did you tell the Packers not to draft you? Because they had the 7th pick. They ended up taking my brother.
I saw him telling the story.
Yeah.
That they were going to draft me. He's right. They were. They called me because I was a junior.
Right.
Like I was graduating early.
Right.
Right. Back when you were coming out back then, you had to graduate to go to school, go to the draft early. But it gave me control over the draft. So if somebody calls me and I didn't want to go, I can decline. I'm going back to school, and that's what I just wanted control.
Right.
I was directed towards, somewhere on the West Coast, in New York. I really just wanted to be in Dallas. It's always wanted to be in Dallas. So I was trying to work my way. I had saw Bernie Kosar work his way to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Remember?
With
As
the
a sophomore. It was the supplemental draft. So I was just trying to, So when they called, I'm sitting there. We ain't got a dime. It's the 7th pick.
It's 17. You got 17 brothers and
Right.
sisters.
And they all looking like, are we rich yet? Are we rich yet? I'm like, no.
Not yet.
Right. Stop, back up. Right. So, that thing was funny, man. But then I started thinking, like the weather-wise, I'm coming from Florida, going to Green Bay. And not just weather and temperature.
Did you got Chicago? That's outside?
All that out there. It's just, no. And Norv Turner, who was with the Rams at the time, had spent that draft with me. The Rams were going to draft me at 14. Norv was there with me.
They took Aaron Cox.
Yeah, because the Cowboys took me at 11.
Yeah.
And Norv was so disappointed, and Norv went back. And then it was so funny, after, a couple of years here, Dave Schuler, the offensive coordinator we had here, he was like, we should trade Michael. And Jimmy was, they were talking about trading me because they coming off that knee surgery. And Jimmy came to me, he said, listen, the guy pulling the trigger don't think you can do it anymore. And he said, I've had way more success with you than I've had with him. I'm gonna let him go and get you an offensive coordinator. We're gonna get this thing going. And that's when they brought in
Norv. Because Norv was with Ernie Zampese. So everything was bang,
I was gonna be with Henry Ellett. I thought I was gonna be with, and let me tell you how Norv got me, dog. We came here, it was March, right? As soon as they signed March, I'm coming off the ACL. Right, so on my head is like, okay, can I play again? I'm going through this. Dude, I ain't never been through anything like I went through with ACL. That took me through something. I don't know if I can play. He take us out in March. He said, let's go. I want to see you run this bang 8. I said, what's a bang 8? He said, 4 steps, hit that one leg, I'm gonna put it on you right there. I said, okay, let's go on it. We'll go out. We ran the first 2 routes. He said, well, I don't know what they told me. That's plenty of speed for me. You just make sure you catch that bang 8. Yeah, is it gonna be as safe for it? Let's get it po. Then he started putting the game plan together, man. Noah was our blessing for all of us.
Yeah.
He put Emmett in the right place to win. He put Troy in the right place to win, and that just made it great. And it was so funny that he was with me on the draft. They tried to get me before,
right?
So it all worked out.
It definitely worked out. I hear you talking about in the America's team, the Gambler and the Cowboys.
Gambler and the Cowboys.
You talking about how difficult that first Super Bowl was. Says of all the ones, that was the toughest to win.
Yeah.
Why was that one so tough?
And it was the most gratifying too.
Yes.
Because it's right up against all the hard work. It's right up against the 3-13 my first year, the 1-15 my second year, and it's the turn. I'm coming from Miami, and I know what it takes to win, and I'm seeing.
And you're not used to losing,
right? And I'm like, dang, what's going on, man? And I got here. I thought, this is it. It's the best right here, you know what I mean? But then you get in the league, you find out some of these jokers about money, it ain't about being the best. And I was like, dude, I couldn't take that. Like right now, I was talking about Emmett, because I talked with him today, and I was like, man, Jerry knew I couldn't hold out. I couldn't hold out. As long as I have held out or stayed away, was the Wednesday before the first game on me, I gotta go play. You know, I gotta go play. It's just.
But they know that too, though.
Yeah, they know that. No doubt he used it.
They use that against you.
Use it against me. He used it against me.
Don't even worry about it.
Right. But I wasn't planning on going nowhere either. Because remember now, I had my plan from the jump street that I knew I'm gonna have some back end.
Right.
I was making sure my back end gonna be good. I'm gonna be right here. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you gotta consider that. Micah has to consider that. Micah, You get opportunity right now. You're gonna get the highest pay guarantee, all of those things. Everybody said, "Well, are you gonna risk $1 million here, $2 million a year here, and you got another $100 million podcast? That's only gonna be a $100 million podcast if you with the Cowboys,
Right.
It's not a $100 million podcast if you with somebody else.
True.
So the whole gathering, Micah has to see you ain't no businessman, you're a whole business man, and make sure all of your entities up under that umbrella coverage is going to be taken care of. And that podcast has to have a star on it.
That you mentioned that. Have you talked to Micah about that? Like Micah, what can't you do with 41, 42, 43 million that you could only do with 46 million?
Yeah, but that's logic, and that's our world. That's our world. Their world is not the world of logic like that. It's social media. It's the world gonna know. I'm only making 41 and he making 43, and I'm not saying Micah like this, but this is their generation. This is why when we're disappointed, we're gonna screw up, and all of them do it. Everyone in this generation. With this point routine, we take everything off.
Everything with the Cowboy related,
right, everything okay.
It's like a breakup with your girlfriend. You take everything, all the pictures that you got. Well, go back by 5 years. You going back and erasing everything.
Where did that come from? I don't know where it start from. Like, hey, I ain't taking all my money off shit. Do you understand? I ain't taking all my money off net.
Right.
That's what I'm telling y'all. So I don't know where you get that from. So that's what's the difference. Like you and me, it ain't gonna matter.
Right.
And a lot of people won't even see it. It'll just be somewhere in the office, so sometimes somebody say it, bring it up. But it won't be every day you got to hear everybody's opinion that you took $1 million less. Did you see what's going on with Rajah Jackson? Rajah Jackson, I saw him the other night. After he did that ring, I'm tired of everybody messing with me. I'm tired of them calling me. Who you mad at? These are the people you're inviting. You streaming. You streaming. What are you doing? You're streaming. You begging these people to come in, and then you don't like what they say, and you want to go break another dude's face because that's his job. That's what that is.
Have you ever thought about, Mike, what it would have been like to play? You're a playmaker. You playing for the Cowboys at its apex, and there's this thing called social media.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about that for just a second?
Yeah. I did. I was telling somebody this story, man. I did the EA Sports when they first brought in the legends of EA Sports. I did the appearance, and I was speaking at an EA Sports conference, and we were talking about the social media and all that. I said, listen, I told him I was scared. I said I would be scared to live in today's and play in today's time. I couldn't make it when it was news at 11, let alone talking about Twitter every second. Kiss my butt.
This man, they only had the 6 and 11 o'clock news.
Right,
and he stayed in there.
I couldn't make it with the news at 11. God damn. Well, I ain't got no chance.
Zero.
So I'm like, hey, man.
With all these camera phones, camera phones.
That's why I gotta stay playing, boy. I gotta stay playing. Keep me playing. I'm telling you, keep me playing, and I ain't playing. And you know what, Shannon? I know that. I know what's real. You know what I mean? I know what's real. I know what's good for me now. I know what's not good for me now. Like, keep me busy is good.
Right. The report is that you talked to Travis Kelce. You had a conversation with Travis Kelce because he was trying to do something that you guys were trying to do, which is three-peat. Yeah, nobody's ever done the three-peat. And I believe, and we're going to talk about this after you ask this question about you believe that you guys, if you'd have kept Jimmy, you believe you would three-peat it. You believe you, but what did you tell Kelce how to approach the season, go into the three-peat once they make it through the gauntlet, to get through the season, get through the playoffs, and get to the Super Bowl? What did you share with him?
Man, first thing I said, man, was because then he asked, first thing you go through is the disappointment of not getting it done, and that's what I was talking to my guys at Miami about even yesterday, like. Dude, I don't know how other people, how are they going to have peace at the end of it all? I mean, I've won championships on just about all levels, everywhere, and I still.
It's the ones that you don't win that eat you. It's not the ones that you win.
I should have gone at that ball. I should have jumped up and Deion, it would have definitely clarified the pass interference.
Right.
But I'm thinking,
He's going to drop right down to it.
if I can just drop it, if I wait,
Body.
it'll drop right by him.
Mm-hmm.
And it dropped by him, and I'm going to stretch the thing out, and I'm going to get that game winner. I wanted to be the hero. All I had to do was get that ball, and now we're down 4. And I cannot let that go. I can't let it go. So, man, that's just, the ones that get away, it's something that you deal with and live with all the time.
But does the three-peat change how people look at Michael Irvin?
Well,
or how we see the Cowboys?
How Michael Irvin would have looked at Michael. And let me tell you that, like, think about it now. Now, when you go and get what Kansas City has done, mine. Yes, it makes it more important. Mm-hmm. I regret it more that I didn't get it when Kansas City or when New England had their run.
Right.
You see now because
you want to be the first. You be the first.
I was worried about y'all. I was like,
well, we didn't have no chance. John retired.
Right.
TV got hurt.
John didn't want to retire. I said, get your old butt out of there. Stop messing around. I had to worry about y'all right after that.
Yeah.
That thing rolled off like, darn, man. I don't care what they say. I want everybody to do great, but I just want to leave me a little mark up there somewhere. Leave me something up there, at least something that they can remember me by. Emmett, he's all-time leading rusher.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to get that record.
No,
nobody
they don't run the ball like that.
Nobody gets
that record.
Right. Nobody will get that record. I just want something to leave up there for me.
Right. Have the Chiefs taken over America's team? Because you see what happened yesterday. Kelsey and Taylor, they get mad.
Dude,
they the new American team. They done took over from y'all, Mike.
Dude, and I ain't gonna go that far.
I'm going that far.
I won't.
Because she's America's sweetheart.
They're America's team, but they are. Those two is America's dream couple. I'll give it that. Those two right there, America's dream. And I'm gonna tell you and say, listen, I've said this openly. Travis Kelce. I love him more than anybody in the National Football League.
He's amazing.
That's my dude. My dude.
He is genuine.
That's
real.
My dude, man. And let me tell you why this is my dude. We were at one of his Pro Bowls. I was coaching the Pro Bowl, and that was one of his early Pro Bowls. And he was coming, he said, man, you got to draft me, Mike. You got to draft me. Don't leave me out there because he's a worried younger guy. He said, you can't leave me out there, man. They're going to let you down. I said, come on, young buck. You're a young buck now. Buy your time. You got to draft me. Don't be leaving me out here. Right. And I did draft him. But he was so good. And my son played tight end. Mm-hmm. My son plays tight end. But he was so good with my son, and he didn't have to be, and he really took care of him. I was like, now that's a different dude. I just appreciate him. And ever since then, we've been so close. But I was telling him, man, listen, don't let this get by you. Because no matter what you do, you're going to think about it all your life. And they going to think about it because they got thumped.
They got thumped.
Got thumped.
Because they wasn't even close.
Thumped. They were not even close, and they going to think about it. But yeah, man, he was, and I love that. Think about it. He just won back-to-back. That's what we were talking about before. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of guy no matter what he do, he going to win.
Yeah.
He's going to win. And certainly now that you got to take it.
He won. He won.
The fight's over. The fight is over.
Call it a career.
Right.
Call it a career. When you got that signing bonus, what was the first thing you did? That Cowboy with
that first one?
Yeah.
They came from Brokeville, Florida. Brokeville, Florida, not Brooksville. I'm from Fort Lauderdale, but Brokeville, where everybody was broke. Dude, I was young too, man. I was crazy, man. I didn't know anything. I bought me a house too. I was so crazy. I don't a lot of houses, but I remember my first house I bought. Right? They were showing me all these houses, big house, this house. I said, that one over there. What's that one over there? They said, well, okay, let's go look at it. And I bought that house because it had the pool and everything, but it had a 8-foot gate. Yeah, all I knew is I don't want anybody to see me in the pool with what I'm doing. That was the parameter that I need to buy my first house. You see what I'm saying?
You already know you're going to be coming.
Right. So I know I'm coming in. And then let me tell you what I did. With that first check, let me get the card. Give me one of the card. That's my check right there, y'all. That check, that $1 million check, I left that right there on the table, right in my room. So as soon as they walked in, they said,
That's your check?
And started. They just, I said, yeah. I had my financial people calling me, telling me, man, send that check. Michael, we're losing. I said, shoot, I'm winning. What you talking about? I'm winning like a mug, boy. I said, boy, y'all tripping, boy. Hey, but it's real. It was real. It was real.
Coming in, as you mentioned, coming from a large family like yours, even though you got $1 million, man, when you try to break off brothers and sisters, Mike, ain't a whole lot left. You got to take care of mom and dad.
Right.
I think your father passed before you got drafted.
Right.
You got to take care of mom. You got to take care of brothers and sisters. Mike, there ain't a whole lot left over.
Yeah. But back then, that was a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Woo, wait a minute now.
Because you get somebody $2,500. You get somebody $2,500, $5,000.
Man, I'm coming off. We coming off. This ain't coming from where they come. These dudes now, these kids now, they got NIL dudes. I was getting $20 a weekend, and mom took the first 15. You joking? Left me with 5, dude. Coming from $5 a weekend to getting them. I left that check right there. I was gonna get every bit of that check. So yeah. Now here's the kicker to all of us that we have to get to, and people have to understand. Making money is one thing. How you let it go is hard. Is as important.
It is.
You know, so especially us too, especially us, because we know there's so many people holding on to the caboose that you got to bring along on this train.
It's never just us.
Right.
It's never just Mike. It wasn't just Mike. It's never just Shannon. You know, I got grandma, I got sister, my brother made it, but I got mom, I got other people that's counting on me.
And it took me through that first contract to figure out and get the understanding of financial literacy enough to know how to best handle that. So to get everything and put everything into a trust. Mm-hmm. So my whole family into the trust. So now when I'm handing you money, and I'm gonna send you tax papers.
Yeah.
So we're handing you money now at your tax bracket instead of me handing you money at my tax bracket. So if I give you $1 million, I gotta make $1.7 million at my bracket to give you $1 million.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now we gotta learn to do that. Yeah. Throw everybody in your trust. Mm-hmm. We in the Irvin family dynasty skipping trust. We ain't never paying the government nothing. When we leave time, we ain't giving you nothing. And when I send money to my mom, who when she was God rest her soul, when she was alive, I'm not paying at my tax bracket. Right. These are the things that we have to learn to make sure we stay up.
Why were you so forthcoming in the documentary? A lot of the stuff, you and I had talked about, and I was like, when I found out the documentary was coming out, I was thinking to myself, how forthcoming is Michael going to be? Is he going to be as forthcoming as he's when me and him talking, or is he going to put that on front of the camera?
And I'm going to be straight because you're my boy to the heart, man. You're my boy to the heart. And even when you call me first and talk about all the things you said, Micah, I want you to do this with me. I was like, whoosh. Damn, Shannon. I don't know. Man, I'm scared because, listen, you guys, you're talking, and I love watching your show, your nightcap stuff. You guys be talking about some stuff. And this is what I was afraid of.
Right.
And I said, okay, listen, here's the problem now. I got some real dead bodies out here.
Yeah.
And I don't need nobody coming up out the grave talking about me.
Undertaker. I
don't need all these grave sites raising back up. When I say, I was over here with this. And I don't need them girls coming up to me. Yeah, I saw that check when he was young. No, sit your old butt down. It's too late now. But that's the kind of thing. So I was worried about that. But the reality is, man, if you don't share, people will receive it and put their thing on it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And not get it in the way that you got it. Like we were talking about, a lot of the things we did, White House, all that stuff, that's those you can think about the other side of it, the women and all of that stuff. But it was also team building and team bonding, and that's what we did, So talking about it and getting the stories out the correct way, it's palatable now. It's palatable now.
Yeah.
It wasn't palatable back then.
No.
They won't take it now. But these kids, they got Love Island. Everybody doing everything with everybody. Hey, that ain't nothing I did. So we good.
At the time, you was like, man, you know what? I think this would be a good idea. You know, let's get a spot right across from practice.
It like anything else, it grew to that.
Yeah.
It grew to that. You know, we had
Because you were thinking about the money you spent in the hotel.
Right. The White House was the end game. This thing grew. It started out, you know, hotels. Then we had an apartment, and then we went to the house. You know what I mean? So at each spot there were issues. Like, you know what happened at the hotel, you know, the hotel.
A noise ordinance, and the people came. And
right, and they set me up at the hotel. You know, I'm so dumb. I got the girls get in the room. They got the room under their name. I'm thinking I'm being slick, but I won't put down my benzos. And they got Playmaker written all on them. I'm still driving, parking them all. What good is doing that if I'm gonna pull up in here in the Benz with Playmaker flash, Playmaker. So it's just because you're stupid, you don't know, you know. So it went from the hotel. Man, how much money we spending on the hotel?
Right.
Let's just get an apartment. And then we got an apartment, and I had an apartment, and then, you know, you bring a few girls over to the apartment, and then things ain't going right with all the girls, and they over there making all these noise and screaming, what's going on? They kicking in the window. I said,
Lord.
Maybe we shouldn't be in an apartment building. So then we finally got a house to try to move that thing. Well, Jerry finally found out. Leon Lett called me.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll never forget it. And New Jack City hadn't been out too long. I had just seen New Jack City. And Cat called me. He said, Michael, I'll never forget. I was headed to the campus. He said, Michael, we've been infiltrated. He said, man, I'm telling you right now, shut down the White House. Huh? I said, Negro, this ain't no movie. Hey, ain't shut down the Carter. I ain't shut down the Carter. Cat, I'm telling you, Mike, I'm telling you. And about 2 weeks later, I'm in meetings, and Jerry called me, and it's Wednesday, this install. You know, I want to be in here. Like, wait a minute, dude. We're going over the plays. And they peek in the door, Jerry. I said, no, I'll tell them in a minute. We'll install. I got to make sure they put it in the right place. Right now. He said, no, I want to see you right now. I said, we can't wait. He said, right. I said, cut. You know, so I go. And he asked me he said, Michael, there's a story breaking about some house y'all got over here somewhere, a White House. I said, oh, shit. I thought about that. I said, I should have shut down the car.
You should have shut it down. You should have shut it down.
Hey, man, and he asked me about it.
Do you know who dimed it out?
Yes, I do. I know, well, a few people dimed it out. But yeah, we know. We know they got it out. When he asked me, though, I ain't had no answer. Jerry would tell a story. He said, I came in, I'm sitting there, and he said, just be honest with me. You know I'm going to be with you. I'll fight for you as long as you're honest. And I thought about it, and I just told him, I said, boss, we were trying to do the wrong thing the right way. I said we were trying to do the wrong thing the right way. I thought through it, but it's just, you know what I mean? And it was a good plan, because at first, you know, here again, we're going to park at the complex and bring over one car. Right. So all the cars won't have
a whole bunch of cars.
You know, now I already had it at the hotel. We got all our cars identified. So we'll park at the complex and come over here in one car. And then, you know, as you get more and more loose with that and you're out drinking, you come to the club, pretty soon we had a whole parking lot out there. And that really gave us away. Them old people that were living next to us said we were making too much noise. That's what they were saying. So, yeah, but yeah, it was crazy times, man.
Do you remember the first time you were introduced to drugs?
You know, it's so funny. When I went through the thing here at the hotel, Jerry set up a meeting with the district attorney. His name was Mike Gillette. Mm-hmm. It's a private meeting. We met to talk about the case. Right. I said to him, Jerry said, man, listen, this is, let's just get this case out the way so we can get back on the field. I need you to I need you to go talk with him and just be honest with him, be straight with him, and let's see if we can get this thing. because right now it just seems like he's after you. He's after you. I said, okay. Now you guys got to understand. Now that night in the hotel, when all of this went down, when the police came, they arrested the girl. I went home. Now, then they hired this new guy, Mike Gillette. They hired this new district attorney 3-4 months later. And he went back. Now we're into getting ready to work for the season.
Right.
He went back and looked at the case and opened it up.
Right, okay.
And opened up the case.
He reopened it.
He reopened all of it. He said, well, because I didn't have any standings. You got to have standings. That means the room was not in my name.
Right.
The room was in her name. They found the things with her. So they said, okay, we can just take her or let you go if she says it's hers. And she says they're mine. She's a good girl. She was a good girl. And that hurts me too, Doobie. Listen, she really was a good girl. And what happened with her was just not right, you know, because I really liked her. She was a good girl. She wasn't a dancer. I had met her at a club. But, you know, they put her out as a prostitute. It was just wrong. So I really, because she was, I had, before we went to the Super Bowl, I had.
Was this the first Super Bowl or the second Super Bowl? First.
No, before we went to the second Super Bowl.
Okay.
This happened when we got back from the third Super Bowl.
Okay.
This happened when we got back from the third
Right.
Super Bowl. Before we went to Super Bowl, the third Super Bowl, you get all them tickets. You know, tickets. So
Yeah, they used to get a boatload of tickets. They used to get about 30 tickets back then, Mike.
Yeah.
They used to get about 30 tickets back then. They cut it down.
Yeah, they cut it way down. Because they know you get them 30 tickets, and them people out there waiting, they'll give you $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a ticket. Boy, I had about 100 on me. And we were hanging around. I said, hey, listen, I peeled like a knot. I said, hey, go get an apartment. Because when I come back, I do not want to come back to these hotels.
Right.
Go get an apartment. And she was like, I don't want to take your money like that. I was like, no, you're not taking my money. Go get an apartment.
Right.
We don't want to be in here.
Right.
And you know, I come back, and then when I get back after, and I go, I want to see her. I go see her, and I ask her. She came back. She gives me back the money. I said, what did you do? What are you doing? I don't want to be like that, you know. So she was a real good girl. And then all of this goes down, you know. So it made me feel extra bad. Yeah, it made me feel extra bad for her, man, because she didn't deserve it. But when I was dealing with Mike Gillette, and Jerry asked me to go meet with him, and she took it. She took it.
Right.
She took it so I can go home. And I always respect her for that. And she's just one of the good people. But he had me a private meeting.
It was you and him?
Me and Gillette. Me and the district
You and
attorney.
him?
Me and him. Private meeting. And this joker sits down with me, man, and he says, I said, Mr. Gillette, I'm going to tell you what happened. I'll tell you the truth. I said, now, I got off an airplane because I had an autograph session show, and I came to the hotel. And you have a girl claiming that those are hers. I said, now, I'm not telling you I've never brought drugs to the hotel. I'm just telling you this time.
That night I didn't.
I didn't bring the drugs to the hotel. You know, trying to be honest and trying to be straight. I said, I'm trying to be honest. I'm being straight with you. His exact words was to me, and he jumped in early. He says, let me tell you what I think. He said, first of all, the truth is what I make it, and you'll find that when we get in the courtroom. And then he told me, I promise you, he said to me, he said, you know, I personally think you're a piece of shit, and you're using your fame to take advantage of these poor white women, the white girls, and I'm going to put you away. He said, his exact words were, I'm gonna fillet you like a fish and leave you in that alley. I was like, oh. Now all the Fort Lauderdale coming up out of me.
Now you old swole. Now you see it.
He was raising up when he was talking. I was trying to.
You try to bite your lip. You're like, okay, I got to remain.
But I do understand. It was my first case. This was my first offense. So I just then it got south after that. It got south. I said, let me tell you somebody. You little short, you little short dude, right? I said, that's my first offense. I said, you could do what you want to do, but you can't give me any time. You give me probation. Somebody gonna pay me millions to catch a football, because I know how to do that. and you're gonna be down here broke. He said, well, I'm gonna show you tomorrow when I have them cameras and everything here. I said, okay, I'm gonna show you too. That's why I wore the mink coat.
Hold up, you wore mink?
That's why I wore the mink.
In Dallas, Texas.
It was 90 degrees.
You got on a
Fully
link.
mink with Versace glasses, and that's all they talked about. You see, that's all they talked about. He thought he was gonna get words in. He was trying to say I introduced him. When he said you are taking advantage of you, I wanted to say, what do you mean? They gave me drugs. I didn't even know. They did it to me. I was innocent. Right. I was the one innocent. They started this. What are you saying? So yeah, man. That was it. And I remember the two girls. The two girls that here. When I don't call their names.
Yeah.
And I remember them.
But so, did you do drugs in high school? Did you do drugs in college?
No. And I never did any drugs during the season. That's what I was telling Irvin when we were talking about it. I had it. Because we played until February.
Right.
I'm in the Super Bowl. Super Bowl ends in February. I would say, Jimmy said, let's get away. I had about a month in there.
Yeah.
This happened March 4th. Month. My birthday, March 5th. I always have that one last hurrah, rah, rah. And then I'm training.
Did you train?
And then I'm training,
Right.
and I'm going, and I don't, and it goes, and I'm thinking, I used to look at people like, man, I can't understand why y'all have problems stopping. Why can't you just stop?
Right.
Because I could just stop and go play ball and not worry about it. But after I retired, I realized, okay, I ain't as strong as I thought. It wasn't that I was strong. I was just switching addictions.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You had football.
Right.
You had something to replace.
Get my money right. And if I had a real good month, I'm gonna work out real hard because that's the yin and the yang.
Right.
That's just how I train my own head. So yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna have fun. After that birthday, because we always start training.
Yeah. About a month after the
Second week of
season.
March.
Yeah.
Yep. Second week in March. So it worked out for me. That's what I thought worked out for me anyway, But it's so funny though. That night I went to the hotel, I promise you, dude, after already trying to get Angela to get a hotel room and everything, I remember driving to that hotel that day, and I swear to you, as God is my witness, on my
You thought about
mother
not going.
and father's grave, as simply as I'm talking to you, God said, don't go to that hotel. I think on this every day. I swear to you, as simply as I'm talking. He said, do not go, And I went.
Yep.
And I went. And he must have set me up before. That's why I said go get an apartment. You know what I mean? We didn't, and he just did, But yeah, as I said, Jerry, I guess, yeah. I wish that never would have happened. Man, I mean, not that what I was doing, I ain't gonna say I wish I never did that, because that was what it is. I was young, and we were just out there. But I just wish, because it changed things. It changes things. It just changed things.
Your Cowboys team were never the same, Mike.
No, I was never the same. It was just, it just felt like, it wasn't the same. You couldn't lead the same. It felt like, you know what I mean?
Because people looked at you different.
Yeah. Well, you felt
They're
they
different.
looked at you differently.
Maybe
And
they
that
didn't.
changed everything. And it changes everything. Because you feel that. You feel it like, dang, and you feel, so I was never the same. I was never the same.
Because, Mike, I'm thinking, Mike, you was the battery. You was the energizer. You were the receiver, one of the very few receivers that led a team. When you got a gold jacket quarterback, you got a gold jacket running back, you've got the players on the defense. You got Haley, gold jacket. You got Time, gold jacket. You've got those guys. But you're that battery. That was rare. How were you? They might have not knew to the extent, but they knew you like to get down, Mike.
Right.
How were you able to do what you did over here, but get on the field, be first in the sprints, and lead?
Because we were having fun. It's not like I'm over here in the corner with some like going, you know what I mean? This was, all of this stuff gets introduced in the process of the womanizing and chasing and all of that stuff. But I didn't see it as, oh, you got an issue. I just saw we're all having a good time for this month, and then we get back to training. You know, and the guys, we were all having a good time. We had a month off, and we got back to training. I never saw it as a problem. You know, now once that thing went down the hotel, everybody, it's almost like, you know, you got to, I'm like, okay, you can say I had that kind of a drug problem. I didn't know I had a drug problem till after I retired. After I retired, and then I was like, okay, you know what? I had a good time, that's it. Let me get back in shape. I said, that's it, this will be the last weekend, and I'm gonna start focusing, getting back to work, start putting my after career together, and then, you know, you go out another day, and you're back out there, you say, wait a minute, this is the last week. So after about 3 or 4 last weekends, you were like, dang.
It's about 3 or 4 months in.
Right, and you were like, whoa, this is what they've been going through. Oh, you know, I never knew that, right? I never knew that side, because once I had football, I ain't got time for that right now. I gotta get ready. I gotta go chase Jerry Rice. But yeah, so it got different for me then. Then I realized, okay, and that's when I started. I had to start searching more answers about me. Trying to find out things about me since I didn't have football to keep me off of the streets.
You said that situation taught you a lot about you. Is that the one time? But what about the other 100 times that I was out being playmaker? Right.
You talking about what you talking about? Like getting caught that one time?
The one time.
I get caught. And the problem is, here's what you try to do. What you do, you try to justify. All right. You know, many times I didn't get caught.
Right.
You know, even though I did, I don't think I did so wrong. I'll mark it up, chalk it up, or whatever. You know, that kind of thing. But you know, I look back. I'm like, I was young. You know, I was young. We were having fun. We were on top of the world. You were like the gladiators and the warriors. You go win and you get the prize.
Yes.
And you keep having fun. And people always say, like, you know, you have fun doing anything. It's like anything, drinking, smoking. You're just having fun.
Right.
When does it become a problem? When it becomes too fun and you don't know how to start having that fun, or when you don't have something else to turn your attention to.
You also mentioned the situation. You had just gone through that, and the judge gave you probation and said, look, Mr. Irvin, basically you say, I'm paraphrasing, you're getting a reprieve, but don't come back before me.
Don't come back.
And then right before that, there you go, you get into a scuffle with a teammate about a haircut.
Yeah.
Did you go home like, Lord, I'm going to jail?
Yeah.
Lord, you got me out of this situation, and I promise you, Lord, I said, Lord, if you get me out of this, I promise you I won't do this again.
Were you in that room when I was saying that, boy? You were boy, hard, boy. You joking? What?
I know, Lord, if you get me out of this, I promise you, I won't ever put myself in this situation again.
Hey, you saw it that first day. That first day I went to court. What? Walked in there bad like I don't know what. Full length mink. Versace, boy, after them folks had to put me through the ringer, man, a couple weeks later, I'm coming up in that court, blue suit, all please just let me out of this, man. God, all right, I was done, boy. I was done. With Manny Everett, I was like, I ain't never coming back here again. And then that situation at training camp happens with Everett MacGyver, man, and everybody. And this is why you asked me earlier why you tell the story. So everybody comes in. I heard this one guy going around telling us, it's not like I came up, grabbed scissors, and sliced somebody's throat. You know, we had been out drinking. We had been out early because we had got off early. We were going to get haircuts and get meetings later. We had been out drinking. And Everett MacGyver was the new guy in.
Right.
You know. And I always rig and get on my linemen because I want them to be tough. Big E came in. I would be getting, big fella, what's your plans, big fella? What are you trying to do? I got to take care of my mama. So then I start, listen, big fella, because you know you ain't gonna win without the lineman. I said, listen, big fella, when you hear Troy say blue 18, set, you look up and you look at that joker across from you, you say, you trying to stop me from feeding my mama. And then you say, hut. and you tear him. You know, I'm setting them up. Him, Larry, all of this. And Everett was the new guy. And I'm working, and we messing with Everett. And Big E and the guys, they started messing with him. You can't let that little receiver mess. Dude, I'm like, come on, Everett, stop playing, man. Stop, come on, let's get it. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. This is the order of this team.
It's with everything.
We have
taping ankles.
Right.
You got the vets getting the ankle.
You have to follow this. Now, come on, let's follow this. Right. And everybody, oh man, over here, this we were trying to get. Okay, and then Everett, because we had drinks, he get up. Dude, to be truthful, and I'm gonna let people know, I was getting my ass kicked. This big old joker was whooping my butt. I mean, that big boy pushed me. I said, hey, man, stop, man. I said, stop, dog, stop. And he did. And I shouldn't have. It's still not an excuse. I should never have grabbed the scissors. But I was in fight or flight mode. You know what I mean? And dude, I went back to my room right after that, and there's blood everywhere. Blood all over me. And Big Cat came in and he said, man, they don't know. You know, they don't know. They said I barely missed an artery, you know. And dude, that was as difficult a thing as ever, because, you know, you're in this kind of frenzy fight thing going on, and then all of a sudden,
once you come down after that, you realize what you've done.
Oh my God, I sat in that room thinking,
Go down and kill this man.
I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail. They killed this man. And somehow, if he survives, I'm still going to jail. Because the judge just told me, boy, if I see you again, I promise I'm going to give you 25 years. You know, and yeah, Everett talked after that, man. And I shared then, and I'll never forget that. And I thank him again today, and I apologize to him again today on it, you know, because I've been thinking about it lately. Because you watch a documentary, you start thinking about, oh my God. Man.
You relive all those moments all over again.
All those moments, man. And he said to me, when he said that to me, he said, Michael, you know, he said, I know the severity of what would happen if the truth got out. And he said, man, I don't want to take you away from your kids like you almost took me away from mine, dude. That was.
Did you break down?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Because I didn't expect him to do that in my own mind.
Because at that moment, he showed you more grace and mercy than you showed him.
You showed me grace, yeah. And I wouldn't be here without it. I would not have been here. I wouldn't be here without it, you know. So yeah, I tell you, man, I again, I apologize to him a million times, you know.
Did you have a situation in Miami? Did you get in a fight with somebody at Miami?
Yeah, I got in fights at Miami.
Yeah, because Jimmy was telling
me. First day, I got in a fight at Miami. Right?
How you just get to school, Mike?
Right, I know, man. I don't know, man. But I told these guys, because I know, I said, I don't mind doing, it's so funny, I don't mind doing freshman stuff, guys, but listen, man, we got nothing, man. I'm here to try to get my family somewhere. And I was saying this, I know, you know, it's so funny. I was just saying, come on, man, I just got to get my family. So they were playing these games with me. This was on the training table the first day. You know, the guys are sitting there, freshmen got to eat last.
Yeah. That protocol, that's the rule.
Protocol. I'm trying to wait. And then, so they kept making us wait. And then I kept saying, let me go. He said, freshman, shut up and get back. I said, okay. And then the Joker went and picked the food that I wanted. Because this is my first time seeing a training table. I'm coming from the ghetto in Fort Lauderdale, dude.
We ain't never seen no food like that. No abundance of food like that.
And see, they didn't think about it. It's like, y'all see this all the time, you know. Remember Howard, they had just gave Howard Snellenberger the okay to go in the ghettos and get us.
Yes.
So we were freshly coming out of the ghettos, for real. And I was like, oh my God, look at this. And yeah, after they messed with us and messed with the freshmen, sit down, eat last, then that Joker, I snuck by him and picked out a steak. And they pushed me and put me back, and then after he finally went, he took my steak. Man, I cracked that joke over the head, man. with the tray and started whooping his butt. hey, Jimmy called me in the office. I said, this joker finna send me home. I just got here.
Yeah.
I just got here, right? And then a couple weeks later, we're freshmen work out, right? And we get the music box. Then the linebacker come in. Freshmen, shut up. Y'all don't play, and they change the music. I said, what? We get to work out for 10 more minutes.
Right.
And then you guys come in. Turn this music. I said, but that's not putting us to sleep. It's our music. Freshman, I said, dude, this is our time, dude.
Yeah, I got 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes, you take over.
Push me down against the way. I said, oh, okay. I said, these jokers gonna keep messing with me. So then we go upstairs in the big meeting room.
Yeah.
And Jimmy calls a meeting and he says, I can't believe it. Micah, get down here right now. And call the player and I said, I told you, we can't be fighting each other. Stop it right now. We're gonna shake hands right here in front of everybody right now. I'm fresh out of the ghetto. I'm a little rough around the edges, right? I'm fresh up out of that ghetto. So in front of the team, he said, I want y'all to shake hands right now. This is a true story, too. I said, I'm on fire. I'm on fire from what that joker did, man. I reached out my left hand, and he reached out his left. I grabbed him. And he was, and man, and then I hit him again. And man,
In front of everybody, Mike?
Man, Coach was like, listen, boy, listen. He said, listen, let me tell you something right now. He said,
Lord have mercy.
I know you had it hard. We here now. We trying to help you get out.
Right.
You can't be fighting us. It was it, man. And then he said, looked at me and said, you sure you want to play football? You ever thought about boxing? I ain't joking. He asked me that as me. I said, no, Coach, I want to play football. I'm playing football. But to all of that, those situations, the Everett MacGyver situation,
right.
After I retired, I had to figure out why.
Did you fight with you? Because you're like of 17, you're like 15 or 16, right?
I've been fighting all my life.
So you
had to fight up.
You like, you know what?
Fight up.
I ain't taking nothing else off nobody else.
Right.
I done took it off of them for 18, 19 years.
20 years. Yeah.
It stops here today.
Yeah, and then I had to go study it and learn it. And if you go through it now, they'll tell you in a mother's third trimester, if she is stressed, pressured, her brain releases, her body releases cortisol that goes to the brain of the baby to tell the baby to prepare for fight or flight. And in this child, you will have a smaller cortex, bigger mammalian. That's the broad base. So your fight or flight state, you're more apt to fight than reason. I'm more apt to fight than reason. It serves me well on the football field. So you come up and go, but off the football field.
Yeah. You're such a small time on the football field.
Right. And that's what I said. I had to learn, dude, joke, stop. They tell you understanding it and studying it is 75% to beating it. So now, even when I'm riding and somebody comes by and cut me off, hey, I said, that's just your reptilian brain.
Yeah.
Calm it down.
Yep.
I said, no problem, excuse me, no problem. But you gotta calm it down.
Right.
You gotta know, calm it down right now. So, I had to study that, figure it out, learn it, and try, so I can try to get through this thing called life without football.
Had you known what you know now back then, are you still the same Michael Irvin?
Oh, man.
Because that served you well, and like you said, in playing football. Now you go get the help, the treatment that you need to be able to reason.
Right. And do I get there? That's a great question. Because the fight in me was the fight here. But all these other fights away from here, they were problematic. So coming up the way I came up, I was like, yeah, that's it. I need that come up. I just need to learn what I know now sooner. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I could have stopped a lot of the stuff.
Yes.
Understanding that's just your reptilian brain. Just calm it down. You're not on the field right now. Be reasonable.
So from where you grew up, how you grew up, high school, feel like you always got to fight. You get to Dallas, and Mike, you got everything. You got everything. And I tell people at the time, like, no matter how much you have, you don't think about what you got.
No.
You just think about somebody trying to take advantage of you. Somebody trying to, what we say, you trying to punk me.
Right.
Oh, you think because, you bigger than me, you go, nah, it ain't gonna.
Yeah.
It don't work like that.
Because you're not living in your now. You're still dealing with your yesterday.
Yes.
You see what I mean?
Yes.
You're like, and you asked me about finances. That's what we do in finances.
Mm-hmm.
We buy out of our pain. We don't think about our purpose. Our purpose is what we're going to do ahead of us.
Yeah.
Our pain is what's behind us. So now you get that $5 million sign-in bonus, and what you do? You go spend $2 million on a house. You go spend another $1 million on your mom's house. You go spend some money on cars. Now the $5 million is down to $1 million.
And you ain't paid no taxes.
And you say to yourself, that's all right though. I paid mine, I bought it, I paid it off. Ain't no, cause you're dealing with the pain of watching your mom lose her house and watching your cousin them lose their house. So now you made a stupid financial decision by buying it outright when you should have borrowed. And you know what I mean? And left that principal there and used the interest on that to help pay down. You see what I mean?
Absolutely.
But we do it out of our yesterday, not in thinking about our tomorrow. So yeah, you gotta be careful dealing in your pain. And that's what I was doing a lot of times. Even when I was making it, I was still dealing in my pain.
The trauma from yesterday will show up today.
Yeah, and that's all of us.
You get through that, the 96 season, you get suspended. I think you got suspended the first 5 games in 96,
First
right?
5 games, yeah. I remember getting that letter from
Paul Tagliabue.
Paul Tagliabue saying, you have enjoyed the fame and notoriety of playing for one of the biggest and well-known franchise in this league, the Dallas Cowboys. And for that, we think we should give you an extra game. So I got 5 instead of the 4.
Right.
I was like, well,
Damn.
yeah, well, wait a minute. Right. Well, I thought the league was supposed to be about being fair. Being fair, you don't give everybody the same thing, but he was like, no, we're going to give you 1 extra. So yeah, they gave me a 5-game vacation that I didn't want, but they gave it to me anyway. They gave it to me.
During that time, I know just how important, because we're wired a lot alike, how important the game of football is.
Yeah.
And when I can't do it, not from my own volition, something is missing.
Yeah.
Not only is it missing, I'm letting my teammates down because I want my teammates' respect and trust. I want my coaches' trust. I want their respect. I want the fans' appreciation. I got none of that now.
Right.
Who am I? What actually am I at this very moment when I'm not the playmaker?
Right. And you know, Shannon, that's why I said I was never the same. When I got back, it was never the same. Because I demanded accountability. And where was I for 5 games? I cried on the sideline one time because I realized I couldn't get them back. We had just won the Super Bowl and all of that went down at the hotel, man. And after, like I wanted to get back that Super Bowl. Let's get back to a Super Bowl so we can celebrate again and have a whole full celebration in the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
And we could never get back. I was never the same.
But Mike, your accountability was on the field. You caught the passes, you ran the routes, you was in shape.
Yeah.
But you felt that what you had done off the field somehow had crept, and now I can't be the general that stand up in front of you and says, this is what I need, because you felt they were going to question you. That's not what you did.
Yeah. The authenticity. I studied a lot of things, trying to figure out me. Excuse me. trying to figure out me, because God has blessed me in a great way to accomplish great things and do some things and financially and everything. And now that I don't have football, I want to make sure I don't mess that up going forward. I've always said, no bones about it. If I wouldn't have had football, I wouldn't have made it. So they did that one time. What would you do if you didn't have football? And I jokingly said it, but I don't know if I was all the way joking. I said I would probably in prison or dead, because I'm going to find and try some way to be successful, and I needed an avenue to try to go do it. And football gave me an avenue. I was going to do it. And if I didn't have that avenue, man, I could have gotten in a lot of things to try to get it done.
Could you ever understand football was what you did but not who you were? Could you ever separate that? Or was football tied to Michael Irvin and Michael Irvin tied to football?
I could separate once I got enough to live, to be really real. Football was the only way out. There was nobody around you that you saw got out. The only thing you saw on TV was the football. That's how you get out. That's the way you get out. So that was it. There was no other way for me. That's just no other way. Now I graduated. I got my degree in business, but I got all of them. But it's not. I got all of my mom told me from the day I was born, dude. From the day I was born, I'm the 15th or 17th kid. She said, "Baby, I was crying when I got pregnant with you." She said, I was like, I can't have another baby. I was in church crying, and God put his arms around me and said, "Fret not, Pearl. This is the one that will make your latter days greater than your former days." My mom told me this every day. Every day, I swear, every day of my life.
Almost like you were preordained
Every
for
day
this.
of my life, she said, I remember her opening the refrigerator with nothing in there. And I don't know how I remember this. Oh, God is my witness. I don't know how I remember. But I remember her saying, "Look at this. That's all right, baby. God gave me you. He told me, you're going to make my latter days better than my former days." I was on that mission. And I kept telling everybody, I'm on this mission. I got to get here. So football's everything for me. It allowed me the opportunity to provide for my family. Even though I got those business degrees, minor in communications, it wouldn't have given me that instant help like football did.
96, that happened. 97, 98. Your last season, 99.
Yeah.
You in Philly, Old Vet Stadium.
Yeah.
Routine play, catch it, get tackled, but the first thing hit is your head.
Yeah.
And it kind of pushes your head, jars your head backwards.
Yeah.
Did you know at the time that it happened that something was wrong?
I knew, you're dizzy. I'm trying
So you start getting cobwebs out.
I'm shaking it up. And then everybody comes out, and I'm sitting, and I'm hearing them tell me, uncross your legs. I think I was like this. Like, uncross your legs. And I thought I did.
Yeah.
And they said a couple times, uncross your legs. And then I look up, and it was Deion. Deion was there, and he was, that's what made me scared. Seeing Deion pray like that, I was like, just adore, because we called them head dings.
Right,
Head ding.
yeah.
What's going on? And then that's kind of how I got it. Then they gave me this little thing that wielded something. Let me know if you feel anything. And they said, let me know if you feel. I said, all right. Like I was waiting on
You wait, you're like, okay, well, go ahead. I'm going to let you know when I feel something.
I'll let you know, right? And yeah, and then when I look up, I see Deion. That's when I knew. But I found out, right, I didn't know what I had was called stenosis.
Stenosis. It's narrowing of the spinal column.
Narrowing of the spinal cord and the spinal column, and it presses against my spinal cord. And it's so crazy. And they were like, any other hit can be your last.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm thinking, what? Like, what are you talking? This was my route. This is the slant route. I live in this slant route.
Yes.
This is it.
Yes.
This is it. And that's what, dude, I went and tried to find a doctor that put me back on that field. You know, I wanted to keep playing. You know, and I found one that said, Michael, you've had this forever. You know, you played this long with it. It's a risk. It's a risk. I got to tell you that. But you can continue playing. And I talked to my wife about it, and she was like, you know, Michael, no way you can do that. And I thought, like, she was right. She was like, because you're gonna be out there trying to prove to people that you're not thinking about it and you're not scared and you're going to hit somebody trying to prove and something's going to, like, you can't put us through that. I'm gonna be worried. Everything. So, yeah, I had to finally walk away. But that was hard. That was hard because I knew that's my lifesaver. Football. Football was my life.
That was it.
Yeah.
Because there ain't no senior circuit. In golf, you got a senior circuit.
Right. Basketball, you got a big three. You got a big three. That's basically your senior circuit.
NFL is over.
This is it. And when it's gone, it's gone.
It's gone.
And what you said, we can't. It's what we did and not who we are, but separating the two when what you did made you who you are, coming from where you came from, was very difficult. Was very difficult because, you know, it gave me the confidence. It gave me everything.
Mike, you was Coach Landry's last draft class.
Last first round.
And those vets, Randy White, Ed Too Tall, there were a lot of guys from the glory days, those 70 Cowboys, that were still on the team.
Yeah.
But the stories, like, they was telling you was going too hard in practice, and you went to Jimmy and said, Jimmy, I got a list for you.
What happened? That first year we went through, dude, I'm coming in from Miami, and we're about to win. I just won national championship. I'm gonna put the Cowboys. I watched all these years with my dad watching the Cowboys. I can't wait to get here. This is storied franchise, and yeah, we get here. That first year, and it wasn't like the Randy Weiss and the Ed, those dudes, they're like us, Shannon.
Yeah.
Them the dogs.
Right.
Them ain't the ones you got to worry about.
Right.
They had their old ass out there going hard as they can. You know, they want to.
But they in year 14, year 15.
Right. But they had other dudes around them. Cause see, when they were carrying the team, they could carry. But now they couldn't carry the team, and the guys they got around them now. When I got in, I'm trying to get us back to here. I'm crying when we lose. I'm crying like, no, they're like, come on, Rook, we don't do that in the NFL. We don't act like that. Come on, we pick up a check on Tuesday. There were actually dudes saying this. I was like, what are y'all talking about, man? So, what about the game? This is about winning.
Right.
It's about winning.
Yeah, that's what I care about.
I worked my heart out to get here to play you jokers. And this is how y'all thinking, you know. So yeah. Joe, every dude that talked to me and said that to me, I wanted to tell Coach Johnson because you can't win with that. You can't win with that.
Yeah.
I don't mind that you want to make money. I want to make money.
Right.
I don't mind whatever. You can want to be famous. You want to meet girl, whatever. But we all got to focus on winning, and you can get that. But you can't be sitting here telling me not to hurt. It's okay to lose, Joker. The only way we're gonna stop this losing is if it hurts. If it hurts enough.
And the more and this is what I tell people, Mike. I say the more you put into something, the more it hurt when it doesn't work out.
Right.
I say because if it does not hurt when it doesn't work out, you didn't put enough into it.
You didn't put enough into it.
It's really that simple.
And that's the game. That's the game we play. That's the game we play and that's why it's not just, and I tell people this all the time, it's not, our game is not just about skill. It's about will. Mm-hmm. You can have a better skill set than me and still get your butt whooped. Every cornerback I named earlier, every last one of them, Deion Sanders, Darryl Green, Roberts, think about these, all of them better physically. The physical skill set, that kill me. A physical skill set, they'll kill me. They all run 4.1s and 4.2s. At best, I'm gonna run a 4.5. But I'm gonna run the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, fifth quarter, sixth quarter, and seventh quarter. If we go 8, I'm still running that 4-5. You gonna be out of 5 flat by now. I'm gonna still be running this 4-5. You know, went from a 4-1 to a 5 flat. I be at 4-5 all day long because you're not gonna outwork me. You know what I'm saying? So skill is one thing, but I got here on will, and you gotta commingle those two.
That's what makes our sport so unique. We're the only sport that asks a man to move another man against his will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mike, I ain't going nowhere the hell you say you ain't. You finna get up out of here.
Get out of here, boy.
Hey, I don't know what you're gonna do next week.
You can do something that week, but you losing this week, bro. You gonna lose this week.
Absolutely.
And get used to it. And I tell people, get used to it, boy, if you're playing me, because I ain't having it. I ain't having it.
When did you know you guys had turned the corner and you had the guys assembled that could go win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, you know what? That third year we came back. I came back. We just got drafted in it. The first game we played in, all three of us together, was Tampa Bay. Mm-hmm. I was coming back off of knee surgery, and I had that ACL. I had missed the first 4 games of that season. It's the 5th game of the season. Yeah. And I was on injury reserve. Missed the rest of the season. First 4 games on injury reserve. Came back that 5th game. Caught a game-winning touchdown, the corner of the end zone. First time all 3 of us was on the field, and we won that game. And then we won a few more games that year. Big game in against the Rams in LA. And then we were like, oh, okay, now we're turning the corner. Now we're starting to turn the corner. And then, that next year, that 90.
The 91 season.
That 91 season, we were different. That's the year Emmett and I, we both won receiver and running back of the year. We went off. So, and from there on, it was over. It was over.
Once you get a taste of what you win the Super Bowl, because everybody thought it was going to be, you was going to win the 93 season.
Right.
But you win the 92 season.
They thought we were a year away.
Yeah.
Dude. But see, and that's what, but once you had gone through that 3-15, that 3-13, that 1-15, and now we're sitting in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. They thought both. San Francisco, they were like, I don't know if they beat San Francisco experience, and they don't have experience to beat Buffalo in the Super Bowl. Man, what, dude, that San Francisco game, I don't care. There was no way on God's green earth we were losing that game. I tell people all the time, I was walking around, I remember before that, because we were coming from the 3-13 one.
Yes.
That was fresh enough. That was 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. That wasn't like that. Yeah, that was just yesterday.
Yeah.
Y'all remember this. We were just there, boy. And I remember walking around, I'm talking about I'm ready to die before I leave here defeated. We were all ready. We were all ready to die before we leave there, boy. We were not leaving without that victory.
But whoever won the NFC Championship was going to win the Super Bowl.
That's how we saw it. That's how we saw it. Even when we got there, they said, well, Buffalo has experience. And I was like, I don't give a damn about experience. Yeah, I run a deep end in the parking lot. It doesn't matter. But, boy, when I walked in that Super Bowl, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe I should have cared. This is crazy. Because it's different, dog. It's different. And you
already 50,000 already.
And you,
I
was like, why can't I breathe? What's going on out here? You can't breathe. You can't even believe it, man. There was nothing like greatest day of my life after that game. Was the greatest day of my life. I know, bar none. I know.
And nothing like that first one.
Nothing like it, man. I sat in that locker room and did not leave because I just wanted to remember that. I used to sit in the locker room crying when we lose. And now I'm sitting in this locker room looking at the Lombardi Trophy. That was, dude, I stayed there all night.
When Jerry tells you guys, we're gonna make a trade for Charles Haley, you know the story about Haley. Yeah. Haley's a different cat. He's very different now than he was then, and he was very different. Very different.
And I knew it because right, he's a San Fran, and Daniel Stubbs, they had drafted Stubbs.
Yeah.
So Stubby was over there, and even when he was playing for San Fran, and I hope Stubby don't mind me telling this, and that's the game I got hurt against San Fran. Stubby used to call, he said, hey man, do you guys got to play where you cracking back? Will you crack down on the D end? I said, why? He said, dude, I write you a nice check, man, to take out Charles Haley's knee. The hell you talking? He said, I hate this joker. You know, because I remember Charles Charles had been all over Danny Stubbs. So he was trying to tell me, come in and take out his knee. Just take him out. You know, I was like, man.
Hey, Haley was all over everybody.
I ain't coming in to take out nobody.
It takes a special type of person to deal with
Right,
Haley.
right. Special dude. Special dude.
But
Special
I mean,
dude.
if he liked you, he liked you.
Boy, but if you, right.
But if he didn't,
boy, you gonna stay on you. But he gonna stay on you. But no matter what he is, if you put him on the field and say, seek ye QB, he'll get that. Seek ye QB. You could do that. He could do that real good. I don't care what nobody said, man. He was the difference for us on defense. Yeah. He was the difference. He ran that defense.
Now in 90, so you win 92, you win 93. If Jimmy, because Jimmy was your coach in college. And I know how you felt about Jimmy. I know how you feel about Jerry. But do you ever think about, like, man, why these jokers couldn't just get along like Mr. Kraft and Coach Belichick for 20?
That's perfect too. And I was thinking about that. I was meaning to bring that up because you're so good at this. Because that's the perfect example. And you know why? Because Jimmy spoke to the media. You see, Belichick never speaks to that.
Right.
So they couldn't take Belichick words, run them back to Kraft, twisted them into one.
They couldn't take Kraft back to Coach Belichick because neither one of them really
Belichick don't want to hear. Mm-hmm. He ain't giving you the time. He going, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it was able to do it for so long. Now, Jimmy looking at, even I look at the documentary, I can see it. I know Coach, he sees it now. But like us, he was monomaniacal, single focus. Yeah. He couldn't see it then. Look at what this league is now. Honestly, y'all can say what you want. It's because of Jerry. Mm-hmm. Jerry, when CBS, they talk about in documentary. CBS wanted to give less money, and all the other owners were saying okay because we're
CBS
good old
was
boy,
really one of the first
good
network.
Old boy network. Jerry said, "Ain't no good old boys here." No. CBS, you out. He brought in Fox. Now
made Fox a whole network.
Right. Made Fox a whole network, and now everybody starts growing again. Everybody's coming back in. CBS wants to work back in. He's doing the same thing with Netflix. In the salary cap, coaches making the kind of money they're making, quarterbacks making the kind of money they're making. If somehow they could have worked that out, let Jerry show off the team so he can build a league like he's building the league.
Yeah.
And you just do your thing, it would have been perfect. It would have been. Jimmy would have been the greatest coach, known as the greatest coach ever, because Jerry was going to promote it that way.
Because you guys were supposed to be the Patriots before the Patriots became the Patriots. Right. Because when you won your third Super Bowl, Mike, you was 28.
Right.
Emmett was like 25, 20.
Dude, isn't that crazy?
Troy was like 26, 27. And you had Larry Allen, you had time, you had Troy. You had...
we had it, man. It was. They couldn't keep it together. God darn, God almighty, they couldn't keep that together.
Y'all could have three-peated.
I asked Emmett about that day, because I saw it, I saw that interview in the documentary when Bob Costas set Jimmy up pretty good. When he said, Jerry said he could coach this team. Do you have any respect for Jerry's football acumen? He said, well, yeah, as an owner, and then Bob came back. And Jimmy thought about it. And Jimmy's smart enough. I wish he should have handled that. I know he looks back now and says, like when he asked, but as an equal. Mm-hmm. As an equal. It's a setup question. How the hell are you going to ask this man, is it equal to him?
Yeah.
Equal to him as a coach. Now, I wish Jimmy would have said, well, listen, I don't expect this man
to know what I know.
To make me an equal to him in business.
Right.
Because when he's bought Dallas Cowboys, because he's been doing that for 35 years.
Correct.
I've been coaching for 35 years. So you can't expect me to think he's my equal, like I don't expect him to think I'm his equal.
Right.
Give an answer like that and leave him some room to wiggle. Mm-hmm. You see, because he's sitting right next to it. And I think that was the killer.
I think what really hurt Jimmy is that he said anybody could coach this team. Yeah. But the question is, could anybody have built this team?
And that's a good assess. That's a good assessment.
Because
And
to
that's a good
get
way to
Troy,
put it. Right.
to draft Emmett, to trade Herschel, and I think the thing where it started, who traded Herschel?
That's a good way.
Who traded Herschel? It was like Jimmy said, "I did it." Jerry said it was a collective thing, and it kind of, and then when you know you have success,
and everybody,
but you know you have success. Everybody thinks they had success because even the people that cook the food.
Everybody.
Man, you know that food, that was the best food y'all had. We don't cook
like y'all won a Super Bowl with it. We won a Super Bowl running them slant routes, Joker. It ain't got nothing to do with no food you put on the table. But everybody does say that, dog. Why y'all won a Super Bowl with it? They ain't got nothing to do with nothing, man. But you're right. And that's why winning at that kind of pace is so hard.
It is.
Because everybody wants to get more credit
than they deserve.
Mm-hmm. And it's just, and that's why it's hard to keep it together.
Yeah. Mike, you almost got traded to the Raiders.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, they play. I would have loved to go to the Raiders. If I was going to get traded, Raiders would have been. Al Davis, you know how he used to walk around when you're working out and always come by. I don't know why that wasn't tampering. Why they ain't never put Al with tampering? Al come right on by and watch you work out. Boy, you work out like a Raider.
So he would always. So you want to be a Raider?
Want to be a Raider? Right? I'm like, boy.
That's his favorite.
First time though. Listen though,
if
y'all
you
say
were a good player and Al Davis got close to you, he
come walking by. He always walk by. He won't let it. And for us, that was like Michael Corleone invite you into the family.
Yes,
boy, I was
because
like,
he was really
that was Michael Corleone.
Knew.
What?
Because you saw him all the time.
That means you know he knows. And he's saying you one of them dogs. Because we only want dogs over here. So, he played that great, man. I loved Al, man. I loved Al. But Jerry even said, he said when they were talking about trading me and everything, Al Davis was the one who told him, because he was new. Jerry was new. He said, you don't trade people like that. You should trust me. You don't trade people like that. So, Al, I had a great respect and love for Al Davis, man. I really did.
When y'all got time, did you know the time was up for they 49ers? I'm glad y'all enjoyed that championship, but you're not finna get another.
Right. And I was, I had called time. We had talked, dude. I got time here. He called when we talked on the phone. He said, Michael, man, what is it like? I said, what was that like going from Atlanta to San Francisco? He said, dude, San Fran. I said, just multiply that by 10. Come on over here.
Come on, Dad.
Let me show you. Come on. That's my verbatim word. Dog, that joker came, that third, I ain't been all on the radio. Prime time party Thursday night. Yo, come on and help me welcome him here. Help me get him here. We gonna make sure Deion Sanders become boy, the whole city came out.
It turned out.
What? Man, man. Time is a show.
Yes.
He's always been a show.
Always been that.
He's always been a show, man. So you put that show on, man, and I got time. I was so happy to get him, man. That's my boy. I love him. And I was like, man, we've been beating each other up for a long time.
Let's join forces.
Let's stop this mess, man. Let's come on and play together. And then that made that Florida thing that we love.
Let's go to some current events. You've been outspoken about Shador and how the Browns have handled that situation. And I've said, look, I ain't say the man should start, but I do believe that he played well enough in the one game because I was in a very similar situation, Mike. I got drafted in the 7th round, played really well in the preseason game, and then I started getting reps with the 1s and 2s because the coaches wanted to see, okay, he did that against the 3s and 4s. Let's see what he could do against tougher competition.
Right.
I just thought that was the natural progression. I'm not saying he takes all the rep with the 1s, but I'm saying, don't you want to see if he could perform at that level with better competition against better competition?
Correct. Yeah. And that's the process. That's the process of his progress. I want to see that. I want to see. Now, what they did, and honestly, I knew they would, what they've done now is put it in a situation. Oh, this is about to be one of the most interesting seasons for the Cleveland Browns that we've ever seen for the Cleveland Browns. The way I see this thing happening, and you call it a prediction, I'm saying this, I'm prophesying, I know it'll go down this way. I don't know, but old Joe, how many he'll play first 4 or 5 games maybe. And if this team is 0-4, 1-5, something like that, and know you're not going anywhere, or Joe gets hurt, dude, Cleveland is going to be it's going to be the first in-season quarterback battle between rookies. If I'm Cleveland, I'm almost saying this thing wide open. I'll start Dillon one week, Shador the next. So, do you know how many people are going to tune in and watch this live in-season quarterback battle? Joe Flacco hurt. Let's find out. And we got to find out which one of these, if any one of these can do it.
Oh, we're going to have to go back in the market.
We got to go back in. This is about to be a very interesting season for the Cleveland Browns. And I believe Shador get those reps that you were talking about to see. And once you get the reps, I want to make sure you put a game plan together for him. The other day, he had no time back here with those guys. Why are we doing regular dropbacks?
Yeah.
Either give him a quick game.
Right.
Just give him a quick game. And to give him a quick game, even though you don't got linemen in the block, give me some receivers that can work the quick game.
Right.
Hit. Give me some moves. Right. You know what I mean? And usually it takes a quarterback 2-3 years to really learn the quick game where I can take these bad linemen and still make a play. That's Tom Brady stuff. That's Patrick. That's stuff that's going to take you a little time to learn. So yeah, I'm anxious to see what happens with
that. And I think the thing is, what Shador, he fell into the thing, and you know this better than anybody, Mike. You're not going to make every play, and sometimes he falls into the trap.
Correct.
He's giving up, bro. You can't give up that kind of ground.
Right.
Sometimes, 1, 2, check it down, throw it away.
Or throw it away.
It's really that simple. An incompletion sometimes
is
the best thing that you could have.
Right. But when you playing in desperation, it's just like you said. So okay. So just like you a 7th rounder.
Yeah.
So now you got to go ahead, Joker. I know, like the old vet that been here for. I know you don't want me to, but I'm about to block you real hard because I don't know if I'm gonna be here, buddy.
Yeah.
So you can let somebody else get in this game because don't ask me to go easy because they're gonna send me home.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So you gotta work through that because he at a different place. Like he's got to try to make a play.
He does.
Like you got to try to make a play because I got to make this team. If you're a first rounder, you threw the ball away. Nobody gonna say that.
Right.
But you know you're in a competition. So yeah, that's kind of the balance.
Sometimes the incompletion is a good play.
It's a good play.
And guys got to learn. You know what I want?
And that's the part that most young guys have to learn in the NFL.
They do.
You're throwing it away. 0 is better than -12.
You go back and look at your team that won. You guys got Charles Haley, you took the next step. You went and got Deion, you went back. You guys had an opportunity to get Randy Moss in 98.
Yeah.
If you get Randy Moss in 98, do you guys get it?
We do it. Yeah, no doubt. Randy gives me life. What he added to Chris Carter, he should have added here. You know, I had spoke with Randy during that draft, and Randy, we had already started a friendship. I really thought he was going to get drafted here. And Jerry talked about it just because of the stuff that we had gone through here and the way the media came at it. They backed him up off Randy. And man, oh my God, we'd have gotten Randy Moss. That would have been the difference. That would have been the difference because he ate us up too every time he played.
That Thanksgiving Day game?
That Thanksgiving Day. He went 3 for 163. I'm playing him, so we ain't get him now. I got to match up on him. And I think I had like 8 for 135. I was like, God, this brother beat my butt in here tonight. You know what I mean? I was supposed to get this dude, man. Golly, I heard. That bothered me too. That was another one. When you look at the things that you say, the Eric Williams car accident.
Yes.
That cost us one. Even with Deion in San Francisco, with Eric Williams, we win that Super Bowl. We win another Super Bowl. And then you get Deion, we of course certainly go win. Those things right there. We get Randy, these are plays that, we're definitely. Well, we could have won 5 in a row. Five in a row, should have won me 6 or 7 by myself. No doubt, though. I should have won 3 straight national titles, too. before I got to Dallas. I should have won. I played 3 straight national title games. I should have won all them jokers too, man. But yeah. It's been quite
You mentioned the differences between Jimmy and Barry. Jimmy was a guy, he gonna grind you. He gonna ride you.
Right.
He gonna take you to the limit. He gonna push you, take it right up to the line, and he gonna ask you to look over. He gonna ask you to look over the line because you going to the line now, Mike. You going right up to it.
You gotta go.
Oh, that's as far as I can go right there.
And I was telling you this, that there's a saying that I love that says only those who risk going too far
can possibly
truly knows how far we can go. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's how we've been doing it. You know, and it's great on the field, but sometimes not so great off the field. Yeah.
But then you get Barry, and Barry was a guy, you're a professional, you're a grown man, you know what you're supposed to do, go handle your business.
Right. And it don't that's a great thing to say. But it's not a reality in life.
No.
In no kind of way.
No.
Everybody has to be held accountable to what we're trying to do. And everybody's not going to have the same accountability if you leave it to them on their own.
Correct.
So we have to set the standard for accountability.
That's why they got people at self-checkout. Because they know you're going to scan one and put one in the bag. Scan one, put two in the bag.
Come on, man. It ain't, you know, they like, oh, well, you going to try.
Yes.
And most people are going to try to slip a corner if you don't watch it.
You don't watch it.
If you don't pin it down. In to win championships, there is no corner slipping.
Nope.
There is
no shortcuts.
No way around it. Nobody can give it to you. Nobody can hope it for you. It's will. You gotta go take it. So I can't play with you in the practice because they're not gonna play with you in the real. You gotta go get it. That's just what it is.
Mike, where are you on this? And I've kind of gotten away from this. I was really never big on this. Going back and forth with current players or former players.
Yeah.
Because Time told me this. He's like, man, the problem that you have. He said, you're not wrong. He says, but because you have a gold jacket, it carries more weight than when anybody else says anything else about them players. Right. So when you say something about a player, you got a gold jacket. Right. Your credential. Because for the longest, they're like, well, what did you do? Right. They can't ask Michael Irvin, what did he do? He got 3 of them things. Right. He was an all-decade player in the 90s. And what number you? I'm 267. What number you?
232.
232.
Yeah.
So you got that.
Right.
So when you speak, you know what you speak of.
Right.
People get upset. They call it hating. Because you can't have an opinion now. You can't critique a play now, Mike. You hating.
Right. Because of who you are. And Shannon, that's the power of what you do and of what we have. And let me do this to be righteous because I love you, brother. And let me apologize to you here live while we're on. Because, even when the Travis Hunter stuff went down, with his girl, and I was like, come on, man. And then we finally talked about it. What did we talk? I said the same thing to you. Yeah. I said, Shannon, I want you to think about, that's you saying. Because everybody talking to his girl and saying, I said, everybody's saying stuff. The only one the only one he's going to remember is you.
What I said.
And we're going to need you one day to go lift him up. And he's going to bring back up, oh, man, you try to talk to my woman, man, like, you know what I mean? But, and that's what I was talking about. Because you just said it. A million other people can say it, but they got that jacket. It'll go right off his back. But he's trying to get and be you. So he's going to hear it from you. And now you won't ever have the ability to go give him what he needs as he takes his journey.
Right.
And that's what I was saying when I said, Shannon, we're going to need you. When I called you, I said, we're going to need you. We're going to need you. This brother going to need you.
Right.
I don't want him to turn an ear off to you.
Right.
You're one of our greatest spokesmen out here. I need you to be and you didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
But he gonna take it that way.
Right. Because I was like that.
You trying to help him. But speaking to his girl, he gonna be like he gonna protect his girl, you know what I mean? And that kind of thing.
Because I told people you have to understand, when you were growing up, and your mom or your dad or your grandparents told you not to see that boy or not to see that girl, it drove you closer together.
Now you ain't gonna,
so now you trying to pull them apart, they're gonna band together almost like a Romeo and Juliet.
Right. Right, right.
So
and then blame you because you like you did something to
Right.
them. This generation different now.
they very different.
They're different now. I told my son the other day, listen, man, I don't want you with all these girls in the house, all these women. Hey, man, that joke was like, hey, Dad, like, Joe, this is my house. I do what I want in my house. I'm telling you what I don't want you doing at my house. That's what don't be trying to, well, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
You can't be doing that at my, this generation. My son, Elijah told me one time, I said, like, did somebody take my money out of here? I said, somebody steal my money? He said, Dad, did you take the money? He said, yeah, I got it. I said, I didn't steal your money, Dad. I took it. You're my dad. I can't steal from you. You took my money. That's how they see it.
Yeah.
You're my dad. What's yours is mine. I can't steal from you. I said, okay, this boy crazy. You know what I mean? But they believe that.
Yeah.
This generation believe. My dad would have grabbed that belt and but we ain't no more money around here. All year long, you can't be, it'd have been a whole different thing. But this generation different.
What do you think about today's receivers? Because it's different. I mean, the game is different.
Yeah,
the way
it's
you
different.
attack the receiver, the way you can attack
Right.
the wide receiver, the space in which they play in.
But they physically gifted now.
Ooh.
Some talented mother brother. Ooh.
Mike, you didn't have no 101. You didn't have no 7 Cam Newton 707. You ain't have none of that. We learned to play in the backyard
Isn't that
against
crazy, dog? And these receivers in this passing game, it's just
quarterback.
phenomenal.
That quarterback coaches in middle school, in junior high, and high school.
Right. I was telling people when we were playing, you had the big receiver and the fast receiver.
Yeah.
Now the big receiver is
Is
the fast receiver. They all won, man. And it's so amazing to see the talent and skill set. You got the 7-footers dribbling basketballs all the way up the floor.
Shooting threes.
Because everybody now, sports have become such a big business. Now, it's like when you tell your kids, go be a doctor, go be a lawyer, everybody, go be an athlete.
Yeah.
So you start training 3, 4, 5 years old, and they train all their lives. The fat guys used to shake fat. Now they're just, man, these are 350-pound wide receiver looking dudes.
Yeah.
Like Aaron Donald, there's not an ounce of fat on these jokers, man. It's
Look
a
at
whole
Myles
different
Garrett.
game. Look at my
He ain't supposed to be that. He ain't supposed to be that size and bend
it's
the edge like that.
amazing to see that. It's amazing.
He ain't supposed to do, I don't care what you say. He ain't supposed to be like that.
I had him out. Well, I saw Alonzo Spellman. Have you ever seen Alonzo Spellman walk through a locker room naked with all them muscles sitting on top of him?
His
like,
arms
and
this
them
long.
I said, God darn, man. Oh, I would hate to make that joker mad, man. I mean, it's just a physical beast, man. And boy, yeah, Myles Garrett, it's different athletes. They're different
They're
athletes.
different now.
Now, the physical skill set.
Right.
Now, mentality, they are different also. I see receivers now tapping heads on third down, coming out there.
I ain't never coming out on third down. That's the money. I'm going to get that ball. They go get
You can't even play with me if I see you tap your helmet on third down. Coach, get him out of the game. Don't ever bring his ass back. Don't you leaving now? We need third down.
Yeah.
We need to go get these other downs. Right now. You can go some next, but if you leave on this third down, don't ever want to. I don't ever want to play with you again. So you got all the physical skill set, but sometimes I question the desire when I see guys walking off the field on third down.
Denzel has some very strong comments to say about them Cowboys. You heard what he said.
Yeah, Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
I love Denzel.
Yeah, he said, I don't know.
Yeah, I heard him talk about Jerry saying all money ain't good money. You know what I mean? I guess when you get up there with the kind of money they got, for me, all money. I guess when you get up there, I can't wait to see that day.
I wonder one day if we go. I sure like have some bad 15.
Hey, that's a bad $50 million. Now, I don't know if you want that. Well, let's sit it over here anyway. I decide.
We'll decide later.
All right. But I don't know about that all money ain't good money. But I get the gist of what he's saying. I get the gist of what he's saying. It's about let's get it to the field. Let's get back in the championship challenge and everything. And I believe, and he's right about that. He's right about that. And that's why, and I know Jerry does business with, but that's why I thought this time is the right time to get Micah Parsons done. Let's not go through what we went through with Dak or CD. let's make Micah. I wanted him to make Micah to Patrick Mahomes of this team. I thought that would have been smart.
Right. The expectations. You got George Pickens. CD comes back healthy. Dak says he's feeling good. The only thing really, the uncertainty is your defense, but you're going to be reliant on your offense because your best player, three of your best four players, Micah, for me, is the best player on this team. But you got CD, you got Pickens, who's coming from Pittsburgh, extremely talented, but, hey, he wasn't getting the ball, he would mope, he wouldn't block, and then you have Dak. What is your expectations for the Cowboys this season?
What you have to look at this year, and especially in this league, the Cowboys prior to last year had those 3 12-5 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
They were averaging about 28, 29, 30 points a game in those years. They were pretty tops in offense. In this league, if you can put an offense on the field, you can win some games.
Yes.
You can put an offense on the field, and you can make some plays late, you can win the game. Now, the Cowboys have that on offense. The issue I'm having with, and when you do go up and put them points on the board, now you just set the defense up to pin their ears back.
Right.
The best ear pinner you have, you're not even paying.
True.
So how are you working harmoniously to get to a Super Bowl? So Micah Parsons' value went up when you got George Pickens.
Correct.
Because now, every time you giving Dak 2 receivers, he came away 12-5. He was in the top offense, and he has that now.
Right.
Micah Parsons should have more value because he can get to the quarterback, and if you're going to put up 35 points. That's the surprise that I think will hit a lot of people this year because the Cowboys will put up at least 30 points a game.
I think it was last year you spoke about your wife who's been by your side through thick and thin.
My baby.
And you said she's going through early onset dementia.
Yeah.
How has that been on you, dealing with that? I mean, she's such a young age, and to see the woman that you've been, she was a cheerleader after you met in college, to see her go through that.
And with the support that she's given me over the years, my wife, I'm 59, and we recognized some things were going wrong with her about 10 years ago, actually.
Really?
We thought it was menopause. And, you go through it and you start going to the doctor. Now, I'm coming off of burying my mother-in-law. Well, I buried my mom. She had Alzheimer's. My mother-in-law was living with us because she had Alzheimer's. And we were taking care of her. And now we thought my wife was going through menopause at 49 because she's coming at 50. And so in about a year and a half of testing, we find out it was early onset. So we had been dealing with this 8, 9 years, going back and forth. And it's been, what's difficult is, it's quite hard to take care of someone 24 hours a day, 24 hours. And she has that agitating Alzheimer's, angry, and I have to keep a 24-hour nurse with her all the time. And these people now, she getting angry, agitation, Alzheimer's, and she hits you. They take that nurse out, send another nurse, and they put more charges on. I mean, they running a bail up on me. But she, if anybody, has earned the right to be in her home.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And no matter what, she will be in her home, and I have to do it. And it gets hard. But football gets me, like, I'll do what I got to do all week, and then get to go on the weekend and talk football so well, watch some games, have a good time, and I can come back and do what I got to do again. You know what I mean? And take care of my wife, take care of my family. But football playing football brought me out of the ghetto. Now, being around the game keeps me sober and gives me that lift so I can go deal with everything else I need to deal with.
The most touching thing that I took from that documentary is that when you got in that trouble and your wife said, the Lord told me I am your wife.
Yeah.
And whatever else you did, you got to work out that with him.
Go make it.
But I'm your wife.
Right.
And I'm not leaving. But you got to work out what you need to work out with him. When you told a story, and it almost like you broke down, like that broke me. Everything else I had been through, I thought I was strong enough to overcome. But when I heard her utter those words, that broke me.
It's the fight in me, right? I told you about the reptilian brain. I'd rather her fight me here. Not physical fight, because I've never hit a woman. But I'd rather say, what is wrong with you? What are you doing?
How could you do?
Then, how could you do me like that? Then I've been taking care of everybody, that's it. I've been taking care of my family, your family, I'm going through things. You can run to that.
Yeah.
You could run to that. But she didn't fight me. She says, I'm gonna get out of the way. And now she makes that fight between me and me. Now I'm looking. And she just showed me in that moment how much she doesn't deserve, how much I don't deserve her. In that moment. And she's saying she's not going anywhere. What you go in the room and say to that? What do you do? I was hoping she gonna fight me and we get in an argument, I could walk back out the door and go do some more.
Right. Or she said, I'm a divorce. Hey, since you want to be out there, I'm out.
Do what you gotta do. Well, I'm gone, I'll go back and do some more, you know what I mean? But when she hit me with that, it was, boy, that was the hardest.
When you found yourself alone with yourself, did you ask God, what did I do to deserve this woman? What did I do to deserve her? What did I do to deserve your mercy?
Yeah, something like that. Anything, a woman like this. And my mom, man, she was always like, you meet people as you go through, and my mom would always say, that's a good girl, baby, but she's not the one. Like, that's a good woman, but she's not the one. That's a girl, she's not the one. I like her, but she's not the one. As soon as she met Sandy, she was like,
That's it.
that's the wife. That's what. My wife and my mom were very close, very close. And me and her mom were very close because her mom put me back together. Like even when I was out all night messing around, come back home, her mom would say, baby, come on now. It's just the devil that we're trying to take our blessings. She said, I got you. We're going to get you back on your feet. She would pray, feed me, say, ain't nobody going nowhere. We're going to get you back on your feet.
That's the old school, though.
Yeah, baby.
That's how my grandparents, that's how they came up. It happened in today's time.
That's that village.
Yes,
when they say you
absolutely.
can take a village. That's the village. They're going to look out and take care of you, and she was like that. I love her mom and I were so close. I miss her so much, man, because she just helped me with everything. Right. She just helped me. But yeah, that's been hard. And that's what the thing was. After watching what my mom goes through and then us picking her mom up off the floor, even at the house all the time, when we realized it was Alzheimer's, my wife, she made me a promise, I don't want anybody to know. I don't want anybody to know, I don't want anybody to see it. That's why people never found out. I've been dealing with 10 years because she didn't want anyone to know. And how they found out is I brought everybody, because I told everybody that you can come live at the house. It's a big house, it's just us, and you come live at the house, help out. And then her brother and sister get in a fight. They're at the house, and I'm working, and they're calling me all the time. He has to go. Then I had to get her brother to leave, and he didn't want to leave. I had to take him to court to leave out. And then it all came out in a little court, because I had to get him to leave.
Right.
And stand there, And it was just, it's a mess. This is so hard on families. It's so hard because every family member loves the one that is sick, and they think they know what's best. And you arguing about treatment and who's going to take care of her, and this thing requires an anointing. I can't do it 24 hours a day every day. So I have to get help. It takes an anointing to take care of people. So I'm praying for everybody out here that's dealing with it, and there's a lot of people that are dealing with it.
A child, taking care of a child, you can pick the child up, you can carry him around, but you're talking about an adult that's not as easily manageable.
Correct.
And like you said, she's at that state where she gets agitated and she fights you back, and you try to calm her down, and it's a huge undertaking.
And with a child, you have hope of tomorrow. I'm doing all of this now, but the kid's going to learn, and they'll be able to do it. So you got an end game There is none here.
She's not going to get better.
We're going to continue to do this. And so you just got to keep that support and keep people around her. Like the doctor said, bring as much family around as you can.
Does she recognize family?
She doesn't recognize anyone. You know, it's so funny you say that. For the first time about 3 months ago, and I promise you, man, in at least 7, 8 years, since she said it, she looked at me, you know, she said, and I held her hands out. Like, come here, baby. And she hadn't done that in, 7, 8 years. About 6 years ago, 7 years ago, she came, we were in the room, and she looked at me like, what's this in my bed? And that's when I knew, yeah, I can't be in the room anymore. So I had to go to the other room. Because she was like, hey, who is this man in my bed? So yeah, she had to have her own room.
Damn. Sorry to hear that, Mike. You touched on it briefly. Rampage Jackson, his son Raja, got into a situation with Psycho Stu. And he gets on the internet. The internet's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
It is a blessing and a curse. Because you've seen it make careers and you've seen it end careers. And sometimes people do performative for the camera. That's really not who they are, but they perform for the cameras. I mean, if
all the time, ain't no sometime. Most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
If you could if that was your child, I mean, how would you go about it, Mike? How would you handle that? How would you man, I thought Rampage, he came out and says, look, I would want to apologize for my son. That's really all you could do because the act has already happened.
Right.
You just hope that people will give him mercy, will give him grace, show him leniency. But there's really nothing, it's happened now.
Yeah. I tell you what, now, I know they're trying to say all of this and everything, and they told him part of the scheme and all of that. There's a lawsuit coming.
Mm-hmm.
I don't apologize, who apologized to who, whatever Psycho Stu going through, and because somebody gonna get Psycho Stu and say, listen, we got money here.
Right.
We got so there's a lawsuit coming. I just want, like, if you're going to be doing all this in streaming and inviting people in, understand you're inviting in their opinions too.
Yes.
So you can't, after inviting all these people in, go crazy on somebody else because all these people saying you soft and all that, because that's what he was, look, keep calling me up, ain't this, ain't that. Well, you invited them to this show.
Yes.
You told them that their opinions matter, and you're allowing them now space in your brain, and these things happen. Yeah, I think I used to always say, I'd rather be around somebody that's, I understand mental illness is real, but I'd rather be around somebody that's really mentally ill than somebody that's acting like they're mentally ill. Because somebody's acting like they're mentally ill will take it too far to prove the point.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And somebody mentally ill, you can kind of see it and deal with it and work with it. And I don't know. I don't know about him, but I was like, I'm worried about what I see with that.
Right.
Dude, wait, it's a wrestling match. We all know this is fake.
Correct.
And that can he hit you with, ain't no, that split up in that can was already soft and prepared for that hit. You didn't even move when he hit you. It wasn't even that serious. And I understand. But for you to go after all of that time and wail like that and think that was okay, that's a little crazy.
Right.
That's a little crazy. And you might say, well, that's crazy, Michael. We talking about that. We just talked about you, cutting dude, throwing all of that. Yeah, but that was woof. I mean, you just pounded 25 times on this man and he's out. That's, yeah.
What's it been working like with Cam and Mace?
I love those guys. They're funny dudes, man. They're funny. It reminds me a lot of Deion and I.
Right.
That old friendship that's been around a long time.
Yeah.
You got those hidden things to mess with. But they're smart dudes.
Yeah.
They are smart dudes, man. I love what they've done. And I love the brand because our people spend a lot of time music and sports. So when you start blending those two, you can grab a good audience because that's what we do, and that's that. So I love having that opportunity to talk to us, to talk to that audience.
Right.
I enjoy being with them.
Cam caused some criticism. Cam Newton, when he said Jalen Hurts, he don't think Jalen Hurts is the top 10 quarterback, and everybody now they try to undermine his career. Cam was a phenomenal player.
Phenomenal.
He was MVP.
Oh my God.
Won the Heisman Trophy.
Phenomenal.
I mean, are we no longer allowed to have opinions, Mike?
Yes, you can have an opinion. You can have an opinion, but you got
somebody else going to have an opinion on your opinion.
Right. That's just what it is. And if you deliver the opinion and you come off of anything where people feel you are staying professional and you go personal, then they're going to go personal.
Correct.
And it's just what they may see. Every Eagle fan, once you say that about Jalen Hurts, come on, man.
Yeah.
Man just gave him a Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Took him to 2. Gave him last one, so you're going to get some pushback.
Correct.
And you didn't win that Super Bowl. You just got to get ready to handle that. And you're going to get, everybody going to bring up you not diving on that ball.
Correct.
You just got to be ready for that. And be ready when you go in. Be ready to go in when you go in and understand that's what's going down. That's what's going down.
I'm going to get you out of here on this one, Mike. Your dad raised 17 kids. You don't nearly have that many kids. What type of father is Michael Irvin? How close of your father, how he raised his kids, are you to raising your kid?
My dad was more hard on us. It was more difficult, tough. You know what I mean? My dad would say when I was a kid, he said, teaching me about being a man. He said, being a man is about making decisions, living and dealing with the results or the consequences. That's what we got to do, And so I remember being young and thinking I was slick and said, oh, okay. So I said to my dad, I think I'm gonna make a decision. Tried to wake me up one day. I made a decision. I think I want to quit school. He said, okay, son. Let's go then. He said, I said, Dad, I just made a decision. I thought you should be a man and making a decision.
Right.
And I said, yeah, that's the decision. The other side of it is the consequences. Let's go. You're going to go to work with me. Dude, I went to work with this joker that first day. Oh, and he was a roofer. Like, we went on the roof.
Yeah.
And laid tile in Florida.
Yeah.
So my dad died of a brain and throat tumor. To this day, I know it was the sun in Florida beating down on his head. Because we worked sunlight.
Yeah, but you had to carry those tiles up. You had to carry those tile upstairs.
I'm carrying.
on top of the roof because now they got a machine that'll ride it up there for you.
Dude, that's what my hands like. And I had to put on ropes, pull that stuff up. You had to grab them towel. So he worked me to death. When I went to college, I worked every summer with him. I went to college. I took the pants and the shirt with all this cement on it, dude. It was on my wall in college. I said, boy, if you don't make football work, that's gonna be work.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna work that. I was never going to work that.
That's what I tell
I
kids.
made football.
Have a lot of jobs when you're growing up because they tell you what you don't want to do.
What you don't want to do.
Because if you can't do that job as a child, when you young and got full of energy.
Right.
As an adult.
no time for it. No time for it. So it's a different. And it goes back to what I was saying when we started. In our areas where we grew up, we didn't have, I want to be him. I want to be him. I want to be him. Them pants and shirt, I don't want to be him.
that.
That's what I know. I will not be him. And that's how you got it. That's how you got motivated.
2026 Super Bowl champ Cowboys?
2025, that plays in 2026. Cowboys got a chance here. Cowboys got a chance. We got a new head coach, and there's so many things you got to see how he handles in game.
Right.
In game. But in this league, if you could put 25 to 30 points on, you can win any game in this league. And the Cowboys have an offense that can put up 30 points, 27 to 30 points. You can win games.
When you rewatch America's
team, the Gambler and the Cowboys. When you rewatch all that, what goes through your mind?
Man, first of all, I'm so glad they're showing these highlights, man.
Because they forgot to play.
Forget how bad a brother was. Boy, I forgot how bad I was. I ain't mad at them. I forgot. Boy, I was like, God dang.
I did all that.
That's a bad one.
Two touchdowns in 18 seconds.
What? Shannon, that boy, hey, boy. God, Lee don't know why we like that. Why them highlights, boy? I'm like, whew. Everywhere I go now doing speaking engagements and they play these highlights, give me a copy of that. I got a copy of all of them. Yeah, I want all the highlights, you know what I mean? So first, it's always you go through and you go over those moments, man. But people, what I want them to take from it, and what I want these current Cowboys to take from it, is what we talked about, the closeness it takes to win championships. I always say this, football teams and organizations will never win a championship. It's too hard. It has to be a football family. Think about championship teams. Man, in football, in baseball, Reggie, he got a problem with the manager. Y'all ain't got to get along. You can still win. In basketball, you can probably still win. It ain't happening in football because everything is interconnected and interdependent on one another.
Yep.
So we can't have these strife, this gripe, this division. You can't be so that's the whole game. If you become this close, this is what it takes to be a champion. And you could talk about all of the talent we had, but you get to see the work we put in and the determination we had to turn it around. And honestly, there's nothing greater when it starts at the bottom and you raise it to the top. That's the greatest journeys that you can take.
Playmaker. My dog.
Love you, my brother.
Appreciate
my
you.
brother.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life.